This is Comic Geek Speak, episode 1908, Reviews! Welcome to Comic Geek Speak. I am Shane Kelly.
I'm Ian Levesey.
I'm Adam Murdo.
And I'm Chris Eberly.
It's very theatrical of you, Shane.
Thank you.
Jazz hands.
Yeah. It's been a while, gentlemen. It has been.
My God, it's good to see all of you.
It's been, feels like months.
I know. Well, it's been at least a month, actually. So with with various vacations and whatnot, and presents episodes, we had a Back to the Bins in there. We had a Crisis Tapes, baby.
Great Crisis Tapes.
So some pretty quality filler in there, but still, summer hiatus is now more or less over, and here we are back in studio and just ready for some fellowship and some quality comic talk. And
Hell yeah, absolutely all around. Happy to see you, gents, and happy to see you listeners as well. And I hope you all had a wonderful summer. We all did, and we'll probably tell you a lot about that on our next comic talk, which will more than likely be our next episode because we got a lot to catch up on.
Sure do.
Mm-hmm.
Seen things, done things. Just a lot of stuff to discuss.
So this here is the McFarlane Superpowers Batmobile and new Batman figure. I gotta throw it now. Where I won't step on it and break it.
And the Spidey 121 I was showing was the facsimile, not the original.
I love these facsimiles that are coming out.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of them now.
It's a positive trend.
Yeah.
Not a facsimile. Did you see that Dan Gavasdan got a hand on
yes
comics that was actually a part of Ditko's actual collection?
Yep.
Really?
It was in his desk or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I forget the issue number, but
yeah, I do too.
He owns a Steve Ditko owned Amazing Spider-Man comic now. That's
what his daughter found it in his desk or something like that. It's a neat story. Look it up on Facebook.
I missed it. What issue number is it?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I'll have to double check that. But.
That's interesting because Ditko was known for discarding most of what he had. Like he would not keep
not sentimental about his own work at all.
Yeah.
No.
Interesting.
He kept some books.
Yeah. So
there you go.
Well, while I try to figure out what issue number that actually was, you listeners over at patreon.com/comicgeekspeak keep us running, and we thank you so much for all that continued support of the show that you continue to give. Without you, we would not be doing what we're doing. Amazing Spider-Man issue 20, by the way, is what he got. So his copy of Spider-Man versus the Scorpion.
Scorpion, that's right. Yep.
But yes, once again, patreon.com/comicgeeks. For as little as $1 a month, you can continue to support the show. And we really do appreciate it in any way that you can.
Sure do.
So,
indeed.
And if you are not a patron or a Patreon person, you can still do the old school donations via PayPal at comicgeekspeak.com/donate.php. Or just, tell a friend about the show, tell a relative, tell a candy worker at a candy shop, whatever you feel like doing. Patreon.com/comicgeekspeak. We thank you so much for your
I love when you riff.
Sometimes it just rolls off the tongue. Other time, it takes a lot more than rolling in order. But yeah, either way, thank you so much for all those listeners and all that support.
And all that jazz.
Gentlemen, there's another catalog this month.
All right, so let's add it to the roster.
Yep. We have
really.
Yep, we have previews for 19.
I love when Shane gets incensed.
We have the Image catalog, which is separate from previews that we'll have to be discussing here, as well as Marvel Previews issue 23 and DC Connect issue 39.
But now in previews, is the Image stuff listed somewhere?
There's one page that's got like a checklist on it, but that's it.
So that's what I looked at. I'm like, okay, well, that's really weird, but I didn't realize there was yet another catalog because I look at previews online. I have physical copies of the DC and Marvel ones. I didn't know there was an Image one.
This is brand spanking new, and this is because of the distribution change that Image has gone through at longer primarily distributing through Diamond. There's still some stuff that you can get through Diamond, and certain stores can still get Image stuff through Diamond, but not comic shops in particular. That's going directly through DCBS's venture. This is why we have ourselves a separate catalog, and why we'll be discussing that on this episode. And we'll start off with them because I don't have to flip through a bunch of pages in order to get there. It's just brand spanking there. And on page 4 of that, we get / Back to School #1. Zoe Thorogood is the story and art for this, with a cover by the one and only Tim Seeley. As this miniseries premieres, 4-issue miniseries brings us back into the / universe after quite some time. So Tim Seeley is at least involved, even if he didn't actually write this one. As / returns with an untold tale and critically acclaimed cartoonist Zoe Thorogood at the bloody helm, as Cassie Hack is only just getting used to her main monster partner Vlad when she's drawn into a new case involving a murderous bunny mascot, dead kids, and an entire squad of maladjusted teenage serial killer hunters. That sounds like / to me.
And Murd, it's Halloween month.
Yes, it is.
Yes, we'll be seeing evidence everywhere we look. It's like horror, horror, and more horror. Horror dribbling out every orifice.
A great time for / to return.
Mm-hmm.
That is
and a great time for dribbling out of orifices. All right.
Yes. That's absolutely what we want to be thinking about in it.
I hope to be doing no dribbling out of any orifice. just my own preference.
Well done, Murd. Well done.
The artwork on this page here, just displaying what Zoe Thorogood has to offer. It's very much in the style of / even if it is not Mr. Seeley himself at the helm. So check it out on page 4 and the subsequent pages of said Image catalog for more information on that. Page 10 brings us Nights #1. It's American Werewolf in London meets Scott Pilgrim.
One of my favorite movies, American Werewolf in London.
One of my favorite movies, Scott Pilgrim versus. There we go. Wyatt Kennedy story for this one. Luigi Formasano on the artwork. As in 2003, supernatural creatures casually exist amongst humans, and America is made up of 31 states. Vince Okanma has lost his parents, moved in with his secret mercenary cousin, his video game making roommate, and befriends the greatest vampire who's ever lived. And that's just the first 20 pages. I love me some alternate history, and I love me some spooky alternate history. This might actually be something that I have to check out. Kind of like
Florida's still in the Union in this reality. All right.
Yeah, I guess so. Good thing, bad thing, you decide. But either way, it kind of reminds me of like Halloween Fables in the description. So
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so not bad at all. Artwork looks great, very expressive. Kids actually looking like kids, and gore. Did I mention gore? Because there's lots of gore. But
if they're riffing on the American Werewolf in London, that's a lot of gore.
Oh yeah.
You bet. Oh wow! And look at
this
page on page 15. Whew. That's some Evangelion level stuff going on over there. So, yep, check that one out for you all, and probably the biggest launch of it all on page 16.
Yeah, I ordered that.
Shane, don't sound defeated. Come on.
Well, I don't want to get suckered into like 5 titles, but I'm going to be getting what is Void Rivals. There's G.I. Joe coming. There's Transformers coming. I'm like, oh god, I'm already doing Star Trek stuff.
And come on, Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light. I hope there's room in the Energon universe for Leoric and his Spectral Knights.
And look at the amazing font choice for Energon Universe. Like you can't get more 80s than that, baby.
Yeah,
right.
That's Marvel Universe level font.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And Dan Warren Johnson helming a Transformers story has me very, very intrigued on this one. With showrunner Robert Kirkman, as we reimagine Hasbro's robots in disguise for a brand new generation on page 16. And I'll talk about great artwork yet again. Very different style than what we're used to for Transformers. But then...
Oh, look at that. Wow. See, look at what I'm missing by not having that image catalog. Holy cow.
Yep. Page 20. That is
that looks great.
Of injured Transformers for you.
And that is very much in the vein of how the comic in the first show was.
Absolutely. Yep.
Wow, that looks great. Monsters,
Dracula, number 1 of 4. Hey, guess what? It's Halloween month. James Tynion IV, helming a Dracula comic on page 21. So good. Check that one out. 4-issue mini starting with Martin Simmons on the art chores. He wants to suck your blood.
Love the artwork.
Oh, very, very creepy artwork.
Yeah, as a good Dracula adaptation should be.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I pre-ordered somehow this the first issue of this from DCBS last month.
Well, it's possible.
I don't know how it was made available that early, but I think I've already got my copy on hold.
Sometimes the solicitations are tricky. You think it's coming out 1 month and it's not, and then you miss it. And
yeah. And I think also with the transition over from Diamond to the new distributor, I think some stuff was solicited a month early. So maybe that was one of the situations. 4-issue mini Destiny Gate starting with Ryan Cady at the helm. Life, for the most part, is the product of the decisions you make. For some, a wrong decision or two leads to a crossroads on the other side of the Destiny Gate. Do you fight for a chance to survive and to start anew, or do you succumb to your inner demons and end it all for you and worse, yours? That sounds very frightening. Ryan Cady on the story chores, Christian DiBari on the art chores. I am liking the fact that as of now, it looks like they're showing art previews for almost everything in Image that is premiering with this new catalog, and I am a big fan of that. You get to see a little bit of everything before you make your decision.
Yeah, I think that helps.
Page 27 for that one there. And we get to J. Scott Fairy Tale Fantasies calendar on page 37. I don't care. It's a calendar, but it looks fun.
Yeah. I probably won't get it because it's a calendar, but I wish he would just do a book.
I know. Yeah, it's been a while since J. Scott Campbell's done sequentials.
Yeah.
How about this? Very next page. Midlife, or How to Hero at 50.
Here's a book for us, Shane.
Yeah. It's going to be painful. You're going to sleep wrong and wake up with a cramp in your leg that wasn't there before.
Hey, that happens to me at 39, man. So I feel you. I feel you.
It gets worse.
Now, how to parlay that into crime fighting? That's a tricky part.
He's going to be chasing after him going, I'm old.
Get off my lawn and I'll fight you for it. Page 38. Brian Buccoletto is the man behind this, who has worked on The Flash and Chicken Devil and No One, teaming up with Stefano Simeone of The Last Days of Black Hammer, as well as Radiant Black for the art chores on this. As Ruben Kwan is the 50-year-old firefighter who's been afraid of fire his whole life. Instead of running into burning buildings, he pushes papers, living in the shadow of his father, who died a hero on the job. After 25 years at the LAFD, he's firmly in the middle of an unremarkable life until his new wife gets pregnant, and a random act of courage reveals that Ruben is fireproof. And what will he do with that at the age of 50? Well, we are going to find out.
Central pages flashback to Ruben in 1997 complaining about Batman and Robin.
Yep.
Relatable.
All right.
He's one of us, people. He's one of us. Yeah, I like the concept. I like the idea too. Like the execution. This could be really, really, really good stuff. And then Jerry Duggan gives us a Paladin of Axes one shot on page 44 with David O'Sullivan on the artwork. As the first appearance of Hector Smalley, a guitar tech known as the Paladin of Axes.
Insert air guitar here.
Exactly. Working on for the world's biggest rock band, and when he and the whole band are killed in a plane crash, it's unexpectedly just the beginning of his bad times.
It's in this, Shane, equal parts.
I was just reading that.
Time Bandits.
Time Bandits. Whew.
Yep.
That's some good old 80s movies right there. Holy cow.
Yep. And as you can see, there's a lot of resurrection going on. Page 45 and 46 show us a little bit more of the action. Liking the style of this one, too. Yep. All right. Getting past Walking Dead, because guess what? That happened already. And
again, and again, and again.
Yep. Okay, on to the trades.
Not that that's a bad thing. Plenty of DC stuff happens again and again, like Justice League.
Oh yeah, that's very true. They haven't rebooted Walking Dead yet. They're just re-releasing it in color, which is a way to.
I don't know what that's like. I never buy anything more than once.
Oh no, never. Of course not. Hey, Justice League is solicited, I guess. All right. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh my God! Look, a new version, smaller.
Blood Street trade paperback, page 58. Peter Tomasi and Maxim Simic, first 6 issues of their series. Big fan of Peter Tomasi's work whenever it shows up, so this may be worth checking out if you haven't already done so. It's a crime mystery horror. Once again, good for Halloween on page 58. And Mark Miller's The Chosen One, the American Jesus Trilogy. So all together here, volumes 1, 2, and 3, all available in one package on page 59. If you want to check it out with Mark Miller and Peter Gross's epic American Jesus tale.
All together now. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Charles Soule brings us Hell to Pay, a tale of the shrouded college on page 61. Once again, 6 issues available in this collection. And I will mention in passing, just because it's Invincible, the Complete Invincible Library, Volume 4, collects issues 71 through 96 of Invincible. If you have not read it, why haven't you read it? Go out and read it. Page 6. All right. Jeff Lemire's Phantom Road collected on page 70 with Gabriel Hernandez Walta. That's just such a good team and well worth mentioning. Lemire and him together on a project described as Mad Max Fury Road meets The Sandman. In this high octane adventure wrapped in dark fantasy aesthetic on page 70. And I know what I'm ordering. Page 72, Saga Volume 11. Collects issues 61 through 66 of Saga, and I cannot frickin' wait. It is.
So you haven't read the new monthlies at all, then?
Nope.
All right.
I am a trade waiter on Saga, whether I want to.
Trade waiter.
Yep, and I will do that lovingly and devour all 6 issues.
Brother, you in for a rare treat.
I cannot wait. Page 72.
Could you go back for a second? Telos. I've never read Telos.
No, I haven't either.
And I love Ringo's art. Have you guys ever read it?
I may have read like 1 or 2 issues of it at some point, but I never read the whole thing. And I've heard nothing but praise over the years for it. And it's Todd DeZago, one of the Young Justice luminaries, along with Ringo, plus Paul Mounts on colors. Like it's bound to be wonderful. And this is a first printing, which is limited to 3,500 copies. I'm sure there'll be other printings after that, but this is a beautiful looking hardcover here on page 74.
What an artist Ringo was.
No question about it.
Oh, indeed.
Taken from us way too soon. Yep. Way too soon. All right. And I think that might be it for Image, as everything else is ongoing. I'm just going to double check real quick and see if anything pops out. But if it does not, Well, you know what? I'll mention Local Man just because I love mentioning Local Man. Page 97. New story arc begins on that. Tim Seeley and Tony Fleeks, issue 6, The Dry Season, part 1, with a man who very much looks like a cross between Professor X and Cyclops sitting there at the table for Local Man.
I was thinking, was it Shatterstar?
Yes, that too.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. The reason I even said Professor X is I thought there was a wheelchair for 2 seconds, but you're right.
It's Shield, Shield, not a wheel.
So yes, I retract that and I go Cyclops meets Shatterstar. Yes, absolutely. And New Burn. Yep. Issue 12 of that available for us.
Superb book.
Excellent. Alrighty. That will end us with the Image catalog, and then we get to the main previews book for a little while before we switch over to the others. And I get to scroll a lot more because, of course, even though there's no image, there sure are a bunch of stuff at the front that I have to get past in order to actually.
There is.
My oh my!
I love when Levy put trailblazers for us.
I can't say that I ever sat and read anything in the front section of previews.
Yeah,
I usually do.
I think I just always skip right to the solicitations.
Shane, that friendly-looking editor they always show in the beginning of the book, you've let him down.
Well, sorry.
Well, let's start it off with Boom here, and we get to Ollie Masters' Slow Burn, issue 1 of 5. It's in the tradition of 100 Bullets and Criminal. So, Chris, I think this one might be for you.
Could be.
As we get a new noir story by Ollie Masters.
All I hear seeing that car is what's the name of the song? It's Slow Ride, but it's Slow Burn.
Fleeing a botched robbery in New York City, a junkie, her dying partner, and a dementia-ridden old man pulled to a coal mining ghost town in central Pennsylvania.
Wow! Holy cow!
The setting appeals, but
that's got to be Centralia.
I would think so.
The town that everything's on fire below it, right?
Yep. It's still going, and it will keep going.
Nobody lives there anymore, correct?
There are maybe. Gosh, I don't remember the number. It's very few houses, if any, under 20 people, or I don't know. It's some crazy minimal number in what's considered the town, as far as I remember, and that could be changed now too. The last thing I saw on it was months ago.
Man, but yeah, this sounds awesome.
But we drive through it to take Matt back to school. Now, you can't go through town, of course, you go kind of around it. But when I was little, we would drive through it for various reasons. And you would see the smoke coming out of the grates in the ground at times.
Wow.
Then as it got worse, of course, everything closed down.
Look at this Cliff Chang and
Yeah, I'll be trying this book, definitely.
Wow.
Page 34 for that one. Slow Burn, issue 1 of 5. A Diamond Gem of the Month, and for many a good reason, it looks like. And really digging the character designs as well.
Central Pennsylvania, that's not really Centralia.
You know, we can get some wiggle room. We can get some wiggle room.
That'd be cool if it was.
Meanwhile, Ranger Academy, issue 1 by Maria Ingrandi Mora, along with Joe Guang on the art chores. Power Rangers meets My Hero Academia as a brand new team debuts. If you had a chance to join the Power Rangers, would you do it? I'll get back to you on that one, because my young self definitely would have said yes. I don't know if my current self would. I'm not nearly as agile as I used to be. But 13-year-old Sage lives on an isolated lunar colony with her adoptive father. Her days on the farm will change forever when it comes across a wreckage with wounded passengers, people from an academy trained to be something called Power Rangers. I can get around this. Yep. Page 38. Sounds like a lot of fun. Also very anime inspired on the art chores. All right. Further down, Abbott 1979, issue 1 of 5, Saladin Ahmed, Sammy Cavella. Final Chapter of the hard-boiled Hugo Award-nominated series as Saladin Ahmed starts to bring Abbott to a close with the year 1979, a 5-issue miniseries here. Also available is the first Abbott and Abbott 1973, for any of you who haven't checked it out.
I haven't checked this out at all.
No.
Yeah.
Shot.
I've heard very, very, very positive things about it, and I haven't gotten around to it myself either. But on the eve of the 80s and the Reagan administration, Detroit is burdened with an oppressive darkness, both political and supernatural. It's kind of all I need to hear right there. That's all available to you on page 44. And Berserker Pen and Ink on page 46, if you want to.
Ron Garney, great artist.
Oh, yeah. Keanu Reeves and Matt Kint. Good stuff. All right. Looking through the rest of Boom real quick, seeing if anything else catches the eye. If not, then I think we can move on. Andy Diggle's The Expanse, Dragon Tooth, Volume 1. Any of you Expanse fans, 4-issue miniseries, all collected here. Side story in the Expanse universe on page 67 by...
I never read The Expanse, but I'm a big Andy Diggle fan. So.
Oh, yeah. Yep, absolutely. And the I've heard very positive things about the Expanse TV series as well, which I believe was on Sci-Fi and then Amazon Prime, I think, finished it out, if I remember correctly. Page 67 for that one. All right, moving on to Dynamite real quick. Vampirella, Dead Flowers, number 1. Sarah Frazetta. That's a familiar name. And Bob Freeman on the writing chores with Alberto Locatelli on the artwork. Legendary fantasy artist Frank Frazetta ushered the now iconic Vampirella onto the pop culture stage 50 years ago with his singular cover painting for Vampirella magazine number 1. And now in 2023, Sarah Frazetta brings her grandfather's legacy full circle as she takes the reins on a brand new series starring Draculan's favorite daughter.
That's cool.
That is awesome. Frazetta Family Lives on page 79.
That
look at those
great song.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great pages there. Got a very it's more grounded than a lot of the Vampirella stuff we see. It's not boobtastic.
I like the color washes that go through it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good point, Shane. All right. Army of Darkness Forever. Tony Fleeks and Justin Greenwood bring us another story in the Ash world. And Dynamite is upping the ante with the ultimate AOD comic book series, Army of Darkness Forever. After the events of Army of Darkness, the director's cut, Ash chainsaws his way through the techno Army of Darkness in 2093 and defends the sacred Isles of the S-Mart in 1993. Meanwhile, in the distant past, his lady love Sheila fights off a rising evil at Castle Kandar. We are going all over the place with this one, with Army of Darkness Forever, and I'm all for it on page 87. Groovy, baby.
You want to talk about Garbage Pail Kids?
No, I was going to laugh at the cover and I was going to keep moving. That's exactly what I was going to do. I know where I am. I know what to talk about and what not to talk about. Garbage Pail Kids ain't going to happen.
Alice Cooper.
Yep, exactly. What I am going to talk about, however, is Alice Cooper. As Rodney Barnes and Edu Mena bring us a Alice Cooper comic book.
Not the first Alice Cooper comic book. Marvel did one way back in the Bronze Age.
They did.
Yep.
This one involves Lucifer, who wants to take the show to Earth, and the only thing stopping him is Alice frickin' Cooper. Yeah, I'm down for it.
I'm hoping he explains Millie Walkay again in the middle of that.
Look how the celebrity likenesses in the same.
Yeah. Looks like Richard Pryor's in there. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think I see the purple one in there.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Prince. Yep. Page 101 for that, and then 102 and 103 have the artwork, along with 104. Trying to think if there's any other celebrity. Yeah, for that, I think that for the most part covers it. But Alice Cooper, baby, there you go. And if anything deserves a Halloween special, it's the Gargoyles.
I won't disagree with that.
Mm-hmm. Young Nash's first Halloween in Manhattan, and you're invited to come along as he heads out to find his friends on the one night of the year when gargoyles can roam the city unbothered. Great premise on page 113, and that should be heck of a lot of fun right there. All right, I think the rest of Dynamite is midstream, so I think I will scroll very far and be done with it. And then there we are, set myself up for what's to come next and move over to DC. DC has some fun for Halloween.
If you say so.
Shane.
Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong.
Not getting it. Nope.
It's no worse than they're fighting a giant starfish, Shane. Come on.
That's different. I like him.
What? I like Godzilla and Kong. I'm sorry.
Are you upset? Are you upset there's no Godzuki?
Well, that would help. No.
One can't have everything.
I mean, it's Brian Bucoletto on the writing chores with Christian Duce on the artwork, and who better to take on these monstrous, machinations than the Justice League? And it
looks very nice.
Oh yeah, no, it really does. I like it all around. So, page 1, check it out if you're looking for something silly, kooky, and immediately disposable, but in a good way.
Always
fun. Yep. Artwork.
Is it just a one shot?
I'm not sure. Did it say further than that?
It really didn't. I was wondering myself.
Yeah, maybe it is just one.
It seems like something that should be at least a couple issues. Yeah,
I know. Look at the rendering of Godzilla.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's definitely nice artwork.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Shane's trying to talk himself into it.
I'm not doing that. I'm gonna read it on. If anything, I'm reading it online.
Yep. You can borrow mine, Shane. How about that?
Well, I have the DC app. I assume it'll be on there.
Oh, it'll definitely be on there. Yeah, it'll be on there. Pretty soon, for that matter. If you're an ultra person like I am,
I am.
Batman 138 continues the Gotham War, as it looks like Nightwing and Batman are not on the best of terms on page 4.
That seems to happen a lot.
Yeah. A lot of things being described in these solicits seem to happen a lot.
Yeah.
Not least of which there being some kind of war. And there's always some kind of gang war going on in Gotham. Why does this one get to be the Gotham War?
Yeah.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
Now, Murd, let's not be jaded.
What makes this one so special?
I'll try, Chris. I'll try.
What makes this one special is that Gotham is burning. Wait, hold on. That's happened before.
Yeah. Can't do earthquakes. We've done that.
Catwoman and Batman are kissing. Wait, that's...
Yep.
All right, fine. Just read it.
We've had a lot of that lately.
Exactly. Read it and enjoy it, and if not, then move on. That's it.
I do like that cover, though, with the Batman having Dick Grayson do the oath.
Yeah, that is good stuff. And it continues on page 6 and concludes on page 6 with Batman, Catwoman, the Gotham War, Scorched Earth, with Zdarsky and Teeny Howard on the writing chores with that one, with Mike Hawthorne and Adriano De Benedetto on the artwork.
But the war in Gotham scorches the entire Earth?
Yes, it does.
Only for that brief period of time, Shane.
It'll be fine.
Look at that Nightwing cover. Nightwing 107.
Pirate Nightwing.
Nightwing is Buccaneer.
Yeah, that's Nightcrawler level Buccaneer there.
You better believe it. Oh yeah. Yo ho, a pirate's life is for Nightwing.
Yo ho ho, Penguin. I need to appreciate that.
I was so disappointed that when I was at Magic Kingdom, Pirates of the Caribbean was down for the day.
What?
That's too bad.
Oh my God.
No.
I think I would have cried. That is my favorite ride in Magic Kingdom is Pirates.
The best.
When we were there in January, I think I went on that like 7 times in the week. Any chance I got, if I checked the app and it said 15-minute wait, I was off.
I will regale you with all the other things I did manage to ride at both Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios when we get to our next comic talk. But
cool.
It was good times. A lot of redacted going on page 8 for Birds of Prey number 2. Their target? She's being held on blank and guarded by a battalion of blank. Secrets. Page 8.
Love that cover for that issue.
Yeah, that's a neat.
I'm just glad Birds of Prey is back. That makes me happy. Happy man.
Wow, this is interesting.
That's page 11.
The new golden age.
Yes, indeed.
It's more than just a slogan here. There's more content coming out under it than just that JSA thing that Johns is doing.
Mm-hmm. Wesley Dodds' The Sandman 6-issue miniseries begins here as Robert Vendetti, along with Riley Rossmo on the art. Great team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have big shoes to fill because the Sandman Mystery Theater is one of the great DC series for me, at least.
True. Very true. Yep. Happy to see this. And then on the next page, page 12, we get Jay Garrick, The Flash #1 by the one and only Jeremy Adams. So in baby with Diego Orlategui on the art chores with a great Todd Knock cover there for the looks of it.
And these stories are in the Golden Age?
The first one was. This one, however, is set in modern times as Jay Garrick is reunited with his long-lost daughter, Judy, who had been abducted into the time stream by mysterious forces and forgotten by everyone, including her own parents. But now she's back, and Jay Garrick gets to enjoy being a dad in this story written by recent Flash Emeritus scribe Jeremy Adams, who knows his DC lore, and this is going to be great.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely in for this one. Next page, Alan Scott, Green Lantern. Tim Sheridan with Cyan Torme on the artwork chores. Another 6-issue miniseries here, as this is focusing on Alan Scott's early days as a Green Lantern, as this one does appear to be set in the past.
Yep.
Wondering if it's even in Gotham also.
It should be, because that was Alan Scott's home base.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We're incorporating some new retcon details, though, such as the villainous Golden Age Red Lantern and the fact that Alan Scott is a closeted gay man.
Yeah.
Yep. Interesting to have a Golden Age Red Lantern. I'd love to see how they pull that off.
Yeah, yeah.
It was foreshadowed in all that stuff that Johns had written, as you know, like the Stargirl, the Lost Children, and the one shot that preceded it. I think this Red Lantern is a Soviet agent of some kind.
Okay.
How was that? I never read it. The New 52 World's Finest. Wasn't Alan Scott one of the main characters in that?
The New 52 World's Finest was Huntress and Power Girl.
Power Girl.
Yeah. Oh, forgive me. Okay.
You're thinking of the Earth 2 series.
That's right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which that I did enjoy. I read. I think I had a few issues of that to finish, but I did enjoy that Earth 2 series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was Robinson, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
mm-hmm. And that's where the idea of the gay Alan Scott was first floated.
Yep. I forget who took over after Robinson was done, but it was another stall.
I don't remember either.
Tom Taylor, I think.
Might be right about that. Yeah, but either way, it was one of the bright spots of the New 52 that often got overshadowed because it wasn't the main Earth.
No,
but,
I agree.
Now, page 14. I have bad connotations with the words Amazon's attack.
That would be like saying JL Ape as well.
Yeah, exactly. Here's hoping this one's way better than the one from a couple of years ago, because, oh boy, that was bad.
Haven't read my way up to it yet, but I think it's probably on my horizon, and I'm shuddering already.
Yep. This one has Josie Campbell along with Vasco Georgiev, following up after the events of Wonder Woman, where the Amazons are now fighting for a world that no longer wants them. Led by their fearless Queen Nubia, a ragtag group of Amazons featuring Wonder Girl and Faruka II frantically searches for answers as their existence and way of life are threatened.
What is that, Mary Marvel there too?
Yeah, you'll notice that they don't mention that in the copy here because they don't know what the heck to call her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not Shazam because Billy Batson's supposed to be Shazam. She can't be Mary Marvel because that's got the word that must not be mentioned in it. So Mary Batson, I guess they could call her, or Mary Bromfield.
Yeah, they could do that.
How do they refer to her in the stories now? Just call her Mary?
Yeah, they kind of weasel their way around it. I mean, it's the same way with Billy Batson's alter ego. I mean, Mark Waid, bless him, in the current Shazam series, he's very strongly implying that his name is in fact Captain Marvel, but nobody ever actually gets a chance to finish saying it. So just the Captain is kind of the way. The artist formerly known as the original Captain Marvel.
Oh, I got it. We could call her Marvel Girl. Wait. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's not going to work either.
But Murd, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't there a long period of time where within the stories they still called him Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, yes, for decades.
Yeah.
1973 until just like recently.
I don't think he could be on the cover, but they could call him that in the book.
Yeah.
There was a DC edict that came down right around the time of the Captain Marvel movie, a little bit before that. That where basically they were just like, we're not bothering anymore. Like, let's not tap dance around this. Let's call him something else. And then something else didn't stick, and now they're kind of in like a halfway in between limbo. So, well, nevertheless, page 14 spins out of Tom King's Wonder Woman series, and do check that out on page 14, Amazon Attack #1. Great cover for Wonder Woman #2 there.
There is.
Yeah.
Page. And the Flash #2. I saw the Flash also got a new logo with the release of the first issue.
I didn't see that yet.
Yep. So it's I've heard very positive things about Cy Spurrier's first issue, so I can't wait to read it once it's on the app in a couple weeks. But this is issue 2 as a new character gets introduced on page 15, The Stillness.
Flash.
Shame. Magnificent. They're called tears, the sign of their weakness.
So page 16.
Good series.
Oh yeah. You gotta love those combo numberings.
Just give me the original numbering.
Superman issue 7. Issue 850. Joshua Williamson continuing his great take on Superman.
It's really outstanding. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah. As Lex Luthor is visited by a blast from his past in this oversized 850th issue. I really hope that it says issue 7, but then in the old school triangle box it says 850.
Yes, do the legacy numbering. Yeah.
Exactly. That would make me super happy. Look at all these variants too. Like,
yeah.
Representing Jim Lee's iconic Superman 204 cover in stunning foil.
Yeah.
It needs a foil variant right there. Yep.
I actually have a statue of that right there.
Nice. And wait, what's this? Action Comics 1058? Superman versus Clark Kent? What? How can that be?
Oh,
yeah, it's an imaginary story. Don't worry about it.
I have to say, just talking about Superman, that My Adventures with Superman, that's a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, I'm on like episode 5. It is wonderful.
Oh, I look forward to it.
I just finished the Mixie X Pidalek episode a couple of days ago.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't get there yet.
Okay, if Mixie Spitlick's in it, well, I'm up to like episode 4, I think.
Murd, I'm not going to spoil anything. That episode is so going to be up your alley for many, many reasons. And it is
all right. Good.
There's other stuff.
Okay, good. See, I haven't been completely charmed by the series so far, but now I've got a reason to carry on.
I think it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, and my favorite part of it, and we'll talk about this more, next episode as well. But my favorite part about it is that Lois Lane is not stupid.
Yeah, yeah. Really not.
He's not fooled by the glasses.
Yeah. This time around, it was pretty easy to get past that after a while. So.
But it makes sense the way they did it too, I thought.
Because Clark was stupid and left kind of a trail of clues that was only too easy for her to put together. But,
Exactly. I won't disagree with that either.
Yep. Also, Jack Quaid, one of the most versatile voice actors of the current era, I feel like.
Between Boimler and this, I'm loving listening to him when he voice acts somebody.
We're 2 weeks away from Lower Decks.
Oh, I can't be here for it soon enough. Oh my God, that crossover for Strange New Worlds, it was awesome.
Oh, it was magnificent.
It's fantastic.
Page 18, Supergirl Special number 1. Mariko Tamaki returns to Supergirl for a 48-page special with Skylar Partridge on the art chores.
Now, I'm a little behind on all the Superman family books, but I kind of like her outfit with that little jacket on the cover.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Really, all the redesigns I've been a fan of, even subtle ones. So,
kind of interesting that the copy here says that this one shot is about Supergirl struggling with feelings of redundancy now that Power Girl is in the picture, and she copes with that by adopting a new costume that looks a lot like Power Girl's current new costume. Not sure I'm seeing the fashion logic there, Kara.
Yeah, well. Reasons? I don't know.
Yeah. Design reasons. Ooh, and on page 19, Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 20. It's still Wade and Mora, but it's Superman, Batman, Robin, and Boy Thunder on the Kingdom Come alternate reality.
Wow.
The Kingdom Come Earth. And there's a foil-stamped Magog helmet variant.
Yeah, that I don't need.
Now, my question is, I mean, I certainly think so. Not to spoil what happens in the original appearance of Boy Thunder, this has to directly, relate to the end of that issue. And I can't wait to see what he's going to do with it, Mark Waid. So, yeah, this is going to be great. Page 19.
Yep.
Anything Mark Waid wants to do with Kingdom Come characters, we've all got to be there for it.
Yep.
And see, page 20, we've got Power Girl number 2, which I mention only because Power Girl, or Paige as she's currently called, is fighting a classic Bronze Age Superman villain, Amalak the Space Pirate, who hates Kryptonians.
Murd, the difference is she might be wearing a jacket, but she's also wearing white. That's the difference between her and Supergirl. That's
a different color.
Exactly. Supergirl doesn't have a boob window. Power Girl has a boob window. I
thought they got rid of that, though.
Not here.
It never goes away. It never goes away.
I guess.
And more Mark Waid and Dan Mora goodness. And Shazam number 4. Love that cover. Captain is romancing the Queen while gorillas lurk in the background.
So great.
Murd, from here forth until further notice, when you talk Captain Marvel, it's got to be Captain.
Only if I'm being censored externally, my friend. We all know it's Captain Marvel on that cover.
His new name is going to be Captain M. Arvel. That's M. Arvel. That's it. Or they should just get sponsorship from Carvel and have him be Captain.
You might be onto something there. I can see a team up between the good Captain and Fudgy the Whale.
Yeah, exactly.
Let him join the Marvel family.
Oh God, Fudgy the Whale.
Man. Pages 22 and 23, we see not one but 2 absolutely gorgeous Nicola Scott Beast Boy covers.
Sure do.
Yeah.
Yep. Great stuff.
First 2 issues of the Titans book has been superb.
Really, really, really great. And it looks like, can the world's premier super team stop Brother Eternity? We shall find out. Page 22. And yeah, there's that other Nicola Scott cover you're talking about there on page 23 for Tales of the Titans. Setting the stage for the next DC Universe epic with this Tales of the Titans issue.
I think I like the first one better in a lot of ways. for Garth himself, but I like the background of the second cover there.
Yeah, well, the background has major Perez vibes to it.
Yeah.
Yep. Good call, Ian.
For sure.
Yep. Jeremy Adams, Green Lantern #4, guest starring The Flash. Yes, put The Flash in a Jeremy Adams issue in any way, please. I will be very happy. And this teams up Hal with a Flash. Not sure which Flash, because they don't make that clear, but it'll probably be Wally, because I think Barry's still off doing Barry things.
Well, I have to really take a look at it, because to me that looks like a Barry costume, but
yeah,
it would make more sense if it was Wally.
Well, I guess we'll find out one way or the other. Either way,
you're partnering with Hal. I think Barry actually would make
right.
sense.
Yeah,
it would. Yeah, so
it would.
And check the backup story. Meet the all-new character Sin Sun in the first installment of a prelude story to the upcoming Sinister Sons by Peter J. Tomasi and David LaFuente.
Ooh.
Peter J. Tomasi is a former DC editor and a writer of a caliber respected by a couple of people on this call.
Yeah.
Sin Sun, got to be Sinestro's son, I'm guessing. That's the only...
I would think.
Yeah.
Leveru, let me ask, because I know you're the big fan. Where's Kyle Rayner right now?
Kyle Rayner, he shows up from time to time.
Does he? Okay. So he's still out there then?
He is still out there, definitely.
Okay.
In fact, he showed up most recently in the big DC crossover that led up to the Titans being the new Justice League, essentially. You know, what came before the Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
He was around for that, so he's definitely still around in one way or the other. Great cover there for Green Lantern War Journal #2 as well. Blue Beetle #2. We will have talk next comic talk, but that cover has me worried.
Agreed. We don't need that again.
Nope.
Page 25.
Shane, Shane, a traumatic moment in your comic book reading life.
I know, right?
And what say you on Fire and Ice? Welcome to Smallville.
Oh, I cannot wait to read this.
Issue 2 has Ambush Bug.
Oh. and what's that? Elron there in the background with a fire extinguisher?
Yeah, I think it is. At first I thought it was Kellex, but you're right. I think that is Elron.
Yeah, that's Elron. Yep.
God. I can't wait for that book.
25, yep.
It's awesome.
Oh, look at that. Look at that Phil Hester cover.
Yeah.
Phil Hester is doing artwork for a Green Arrow book.
Yeah, it's a great cover.
This is not a drill, ladies and gentlemen. Like,
yeah, that's an awesome cover.
Sure is.
So good. So good. Sean Isaacs and Phil Hester will be tag teaming that issue of Green Arrow #5 as past, present, and future Oliver Queens fight for who gets to return home. Gotta read more of this book, definitely.
I read the first, what was it, 2 or 3 issues of Green Arrow and the first 2 of Green Lantern, and I enjoyed both of them much more than I thought I would.
Good to hear. Page 27, a one-shot for a movie that has since been delayed, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom Special #1. I don't believe this movie actually exists, so let's wasn't
that supposed to come out the end of this year?
Yeah.
I think it's now been delayed to to sometime next year, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh,
because of the writer's strike and not being able to promote things, yada yada yada. I think,
right.
If I remember correctly, I think this one's been delayed till sometime next year, but I could be wrong. But either way, it's been delayed a lot, no matter what. So,
yep.
Mm-hmm. Part of a universe that no longer exists. So,
yep.
Let's see. Has it actually? Oh no! As of now, it's still December 20th, 2023. There was discussion of moving it possibly to March, and I guess if the strike doesn't end fast enough, that could still potentially happen. But this will tie into that in one way or the other, and give us more of movie Aquaman on page 27. Original creative teams return for new stories starring Superboy, Steel, the Eradicator, and Cyborg Superman. Return of Superman 30th Anniversary Special #1 on page 28. This is an immediate read the minute that it's on the app.
Look at that pantheon of great writers there. Woo.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And that's a great cover there on that page.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. Yep. Jurgens does it better than everybody, honestly. But Dan Jurgens, Louise Simonson, Jerry Ordway, and Carl Kiesel, along with Travis Moore, Jurgens, Brett Breeding, John Bogdanov, Butch Geis, Tom Grummett. Tom Grummett back, man. Oof, yes. And Doug Hazelwood.
John Bogdanov, great artist.
Excellent artist. Yep. Look at these covers. Man. That Manipul Superboy is stunning. And then for your Halloween pleasure, visionary creator Christian Ward unleashes a cosmic horror epic featuring the Court of Owls in Batman City of Madness #1 on page 30. Christian Ward on the writing and artwork chores. And that is some damn fine artwork to go along with.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Yep, it's going to be epically weird and wonderful. I mean, I've enjoyed Ward's work since that Odyssey thing he did for Image several years ago.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. And Bill Ellison.
Yeah, he loved that.
I recall. It's kind of a psychedelic feminist space opera reimagination of Homer's The Odyssey. Mm-hmm. So set the creator of that loose in Gotham City and you're going to have a good time.
Definitely. Yep. And page 31 gives us, 32, Danger Street Volume 1, along with Strange Adventures. All available to you there on page 32.
It's a great cover for Nightwing Volume 4.
Volume 4.
Yep.
And I'm really excited about the next trade, Dark Knight of Steel Volume 2. I got the first hardcover, loved it. Absolutely loved that. You talk about a great Elseworld. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't able to get a couple of subsequent issues, so I've been waiting for them to end the story. So I'm really excited about this. This is commonly considered like Game of Thrones meets the DC Trinity.
Okay.
But it's Tom Taylor, so that should be enough. But it's putting that my hyperbole aside. It's a superb Elseworlds type story. Really well done.
Excellent. Both of those available to you on page 33, by the way. And talk
facsimiles.
And what great facsimiles to be putting out. All American Comics 16, first appearance of the Golden Age Green Lantern, and the first appearance of the Riddler, Detective 140.
I absolutely love these because they're as close as you're going to get to having these in physical form. No crazy weird anniversary logo on them. All the original ads, which are a lot of fun to look at. I'm not picking up every single one, but favorite ones that look really cool. I'm just having a grand old time looking through them.
Murd, did the Riddler have a lot of Golden Age appearances or no?
No.
That's what I thought. Okay.
I kind of think he just had this one, actually.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, it's a nice classic cover, to say the least, and you get some Bill Finger and Otto Binder writing chores, along with Dick Sprang, Jimmy Thompson, Kurt Swan, and others, available on page 35.
Yeah.
Teen Titans Go to the Library on page 37. Franco
and Art.
Yep, Art and Franco back together again. Always like to see it.
Everyone should go to the library.
That's very true. Look at that cover for Danger Street #10 on page 38.
A great series. I'm decided that I'm going to finish it in trade.
Fair enough.
Like a lot of Tom King stuff. I think you get so much more out of the one sitting reading.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Book 10, The Outsiders. Interesting. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? 124. The Mystery Machine takes the spotlight when the gang is invited to interview on a famous televised car show. Great premise, and still only $2.99.
And Fred's still wearing his neckerchief. Come on.
Oh yeah, was Ascot?
That's the word.
Yep, there you go. Page 40 for that.
I got to mention again, Superman Lost by Christopher Priest and Carlo Paglion. Forgive me if I mispronounced that. Is just great. It's really superb. It's, again, I just quickly revisit the plot. It's Superman ends up, in our time, he's only gone for a moment, but in his time, he's gone for like 20 years. He's way out in the galaxy. I mean, so far from Earth, and him trying to find his way back. And then part of the story also deals with him being back in the present and him having to deal with the trauma of having been gone for so long. This type of story has been done many times, different characters over the years, but not like it's being done with Priest. So can't recommend it enough.
You know what, Chris, on page 40 here, it says cover not final. Just make it the final cover.
It's a great cover.
And it's so striking in black and white. I'm sure they're going to color it, but I think it works really well the way it is.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Onward to the trades. Archimaniacs.
That's funny.
Baltazar and Franco yet again on page 42.
Oh my God. It's time for Archimaniacs. They're crazy to the max.
And Batman Catwoman collected on page 43.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that in a collected form. I've read it monthly, but I definitely want to read it again in one sitting.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a pair of kings on this page.
Yep,
Time. Yep, that's one that I think a lot of people failed to notice when it was coming.
It's kind of under the radar, Murd. It's an excellent story, though.
Yeah, I didn't read it yet, but I did pick up the issues as they were coming out.
Yep. And on that same page, by the way, talk about classic Batman Harmony with Dini and Tim on the writing chores and Dini on the artwork, along with Ronnie Del Carmen and Rick Burchett and a bunch of others. If you have not checked that out, check it out on page 43.
Wow, Batgirl Adventures #1. Whew, that'll get you a hefty price tag.
How about Green Lantern Kyle Rayner Rising Compendium?
There you go, Ian.
Yep. Yeah, that surprised me seeing that in there.
I know, yeah. Page 44, and it's all 704 pages.
Not for Shane.
Not for me. Too many.
It's a soft cover.
Oh, okay. That makes it a little less heavy.
That's a little lighter. That poor spine, man. You open that up.
It even includes Rebels 94 #1 along with a bunch of Titan stuff in there. So, and Guy Gardner Warrior and Dark Stars and Damage issue 16. So yeah, this is some great stuff right there. 90s a go on page 44.
Yep, I read so much of that when it was coming out.
All right, and something that Shane's definitely not going to want then. The earliest adventures of Kyle's predecessor, Hal Jordan, his 3 appearances in Showcase, plus the first 35 issues of his Silver Age series. It's 1,000 pages
Oh my God.
in hardcover.
Jeez.
So that one will be a little less light. So,
So that great Darwin Cook cover for it.
Yes. Look at it by all means.
Well, that's an awesome cover.
Yeah. Yep.
Just split it up into smaller volumes.
A new edition of Infinite Crisis for anyone who has not read that on page 45.
And I just listened this week in various stages, the graphic audio Infinite Crisis.
Ah, nice.
It was fun to revisit that. It's a little longer than I remember. I kept going. I'm like, all right, you can end any time now. It's been long enough. But that was fun.
Talking about Silver Age omnibuses, on page 46, they have volume 1 of Superman, the Silver Age omnibus. That one's only 860.
Yeah, it's only 816. I just can't figure out how people read these.
They read it sitting on a couch with it next to them while they're on the couch.
I guess.
Or well, Shane, or you get like a podium.
Yeah, like a hand.
You don't really have to.
Lectern.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's fine. I mean, hey, I'm not complaining. Each to their own. If you have the ability to have a podium and you can put your book up there and read it like a Shakespearean.
Shane, I did order
Adam Deemer. He could make you one. I bet.
That's right. Shane, I did order the Ex Machina omnibus in the last month's previews, which I think is about 1,000 pages. I'll let you know.
I mean, I do have my Justice League volumes 1 and 2 because I'm sick that way.
Yep.
They're probably the biggest ones I have, I think.
And if it just if you're a literary psychonaut, definitely read The Invisibles. So there's book 2.
Well, let me point out though that the Superman Silver Age omnibus includes great stories like Clark Kent's college days and when Lois first suspected Clark was Superman. And in my head, I'm imagining that he goes to like readjust his glasses and he accidentally does this. But
yeah,
well, this may be from the Superman is a dick era.
Yes.
Who can forget the classic? I forgot the issue number where Superman actually dresses Lois down and calls her an idiot or stupid for not realizing that he's Clark Kent. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, man.
I was listening to some of the old time radio dramas were on Sirius XM one channel, and there were so many times when Lois would say something kind of interesting and like to move the story along and or ask a question, and Superman's like, "Oh, never mind that right now, Lois. She's a reporter. She's not going to forget." It was funny.
Shut up, Lois. I'm not interested. And another sign that the 90s kids are the ones that are buying the stuff right now, page 47.
Yeah. Yep. Good point, Ian.
How many years did we go without a Young Justice collection? And now now we have an omnibus.
And this is 1,200 pages. Come on. You can't hold that.
I know.
Hardcover.
Hardcover.
That sucker's going to be 30 pounds.
And then for Murd, we have 0 Hour.
Yeah, and that's 1,096 pages, also hardcover. It's like it's got to be all the crossovers just to reach that page count.
And it's $175.
Mind you, they didn't even bother to say what's in this version. So
that's every chapter, quote unquote, in chronological order.
Okay. All right.
At least that makes sense. Something that was frustrating about the Crisis compendiums that came out. They're grouped by title, not in order. I would have rather had them in order of the story.
Yeah. All right. Just to break up in between Marvel and DC, let's go through Aftershock real quick.
Sure.
All right. And starting off on page 147, The Darkness We Brought Back by Alex Segura and Rex Ogle with art by Joe Isma. From the middle of nowhere to somewhere else. Nothing ever happens in small town Arcadia Heights. Nothing. Until now. After stepping through a door into a strange alternate world. Okay, they have me there. And returning to the real world, changed. 6 high schoolers from disparate backgrounds are forced to work together to stop a monster from consuming their souls and possibly the world.
I wonder if they call that the Inside Out instead of the Upside Down.
I was just thinking, yeah, it's very Stranger Things in execution, but I'm sure it's got its own flair.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Page 147, The Darkness We Brought Back by Alex Segura. And then Maniac New York, There's Something About Harry. I really just wanted to say that. Elliot Kalin, full 1 through 5 of Maniac of New York, The Death Train, and Maniac of New York, The Bronx is Burning, 1 through 4 in this hardcover on page 148. And then you'll see Jimmy's Bastards Volume 1 available here, Chris.
This is Garth Ennis and Russ Braun's take on James Bond, so you can imagine where this is going to go.
Yep. And great writing, great artwork.
I'll be getting it.
Page 149. And then page 150, Side Effects. This is a new printing. It's an original graphic novel by Ted Anderson with art by Tara O'Connor. In recognition of World Mental Health Day on October 10th, Seismic Press is proud to announce Side Effects, where a pop culture classroom's excellence in graphic literature in the young adult category is getting a second printing.
Nice.
So nice to see that. It's a original young adult graphic novel. So close to all ages here, as Hannah's dealing with a lot in her first year of college. And to make matters worse, she's also battering her own brain in the form of anxiety and depression. Fortunately, her therapist has put her on some meds to help, but those meds cause some unintended side effects like sleepiness sleepless nights, pounding headaches, or in Hannah's case, superpowers.
Huh.
The rest, as they say, is history on page 150 as side effects of a very different kind. Hannah doesn't want to be a hero. She just wants to be well. So do check that out if you didn't check it out the first time around on page 150. Donny Cates' Baby Teeth Omnibus on the next page, art by Gary Brown. The entire Baby Teeth saga brought together in one outstanding hardcover omnibus edition. 1 through 20 available for you here on page 151. Donny Cates and Gary Brown's Epic Baby Teeth. All right, I think that's all for that. And onward we go to the Marvels.
Marvelous.
It is a good, once again, I will point this cover out. At least it's a Spider-Man cover.
Yep, this month it makes sense.
Yes. Even if it still says 100 in there to confuse you on Amazing Spider-Man 35, it's as close as we're going to get. So not bad. Not bad.
It's still Spider-Man.
Yep. These preview pages are all for Jonathan Hickman and G.O.D.S on page 7.
Hickman reinvents the cosmology of the Marvel Universe.
Now, do you think G.O.D.S is listed there as G.O.D.S?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, right there. I'm looking at the cover.
Yep, it is an acronym.
Okay, gotcha.
I wonder if this is going to tie into his shield. You know,
it might.
It's going to tie into all kinds of things, I suspect.
Yeah.
It's very tempting, but I would draw people's attention down to the bottom line there that it's a 64-page comic, and they're asking $9.99 for it, which to me feels like a lot.
To the app.
Marvel Unlimited. Woo! But yeah, it's what happens when the powers that be meet the natural order of things. Can't wait to see this and check it out. And then on the next page, on page 8, we get a new Captain Marvel #1 by Alyssa Wong and Jan Bazaldua. I'm going to assume that's how it's pronounced. With
Bazaldua, I would say.
With a new costume design by Jen Bartel. I actually really dig it. Me
too.
Yeah, it slims it down a little bit and kind of gives her almost like a jacket feel to the Captain Marvel costume. As higher, furthest, fastest, Captain Marvel gets herself a new costume and a new way to do things. So that should be interesting.
Looks like the Sentry on the front cover there. She's fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And page 11. Ultimate Universe #1. Jonathan Hickman, Stefano Caselli, The Spoils of Victory. After the world's shaking conclusion of Ultimate Invasion, your team of heroes bands together to save the future. From Mastermind Hickman and superstar artist Caselli, don't miss out on this foundational issue for the new line of Ultimate Comics. Ultimate Comics are back. Yep.
Hickman's name seems to command a pretty high price these days because, once again, it's only a 40-page comic, but it's $6.99.
Each. Oh my God, no.
God, I really miss the days of 60 cents a book.
Well, I wish I could remember those days, Shane.
Yeah.
Remember also now that a lot of regular titles now are $4.99 a month.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
Spider-Boy #1 gets the $5.99 treatment. Dan Slott and Paco Medina as a new ongoing for Spider-Boy with Dan Slott at the helm. He's the breakout star of the end of the Spider-Verse, as we learn a little bit more about Spider-Man's teenage sidekick that never existed but was always there.
Okay.
That is quite frankly the way to describe it, because he, similar to the Sentry, was kind of a forgotten character, like someone who was introduced but immediately was forgotten due to reasons, and we find out what those reasons are in the course of the Spider-Man comic. So, page 13, And then Rainbow Rowell gives us Sensational She-Hulk.
Ian, I'm so enjoying this in trade. Thanks for the recommendation.
You're very welcome, my friend. And happy to see the Sensational back in She-Hulk. Great cover there, too.
Yeah. And this one is 40 pages for $4.99, which seems to me more what reasonably a 40-page comic should cost these days.
That's more like it. There we go. Page 15, White Widow. Ramalam. Issue 104 as Yelena Belova returns to the comics pages.
Always good to see AIM Beekeeper agents.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Beekeeper suits just never get old, man. They never.
No, not at all.
Sarah Gailey on the writing chores, Alessandro Miracolo on the artwork, page 15. And then Carnage gets a comic on 16. Good for Carnage. Good for Carnage. What a cover.
That is a great cover, yeah.
Whew, man, that'll give you nightmares. Predator versus Wolverine continues. That's what I'm talking about. You picked the wrong mutant to hunt. I think they might have.
Yeah.
Age 18.
I'm surprised it took this long for them to have the Wolverine the Predator. Oh, I guess because the Predator was been Dark Horse all those years, but
yep.
You know what doesn't surprise me, Chris? That it took exactly 2 issues for J. Michael Straczynski to put Spider-Man. It's almost like a big. I wonder if that was actually part of the agreement to get him back, one or another. Like, okay, so you can write Captain America, great. However, I have demands, and one of them is I get to write Spider-Man. Like, okay, fine. So,
I don't think he had to twist too many arms.
No, probably not.
Yep. Well, issue 2 of that comes out.
Look at that Somni variant cover for Cap. Oh,
so good. Yep. Page 20 for that. Page 21. Great John
Romita Jr. and Daredevil cover.
Saladin Ahmed and Aaron Cooter give us issue 2 of their new era of Daredevil. Page 21. Yes, Classified number 3.
Move on.
Yeah. How do you sell that?
You don't on page 22. Even though it's already like it's no longer classified, we all know what it is, and whatever. But this is the comic that everybody needs on page 23. It's Jeff, the Jeff-verse. It's Jeff the Shark, baby. With a whole bunch of Marvel Universe animals along with him. The dangerously adorable Jeff the Land Shark returns.
Pizza Dog is there.
Yes, he is.
Alligator Loki.
Jabber, jaw.
Yeah. The old Lace from Runaways is in there.
Runaways, yeah.
Yep.
Looks like Lockheed.
Mm-hmm.
Lockheed.
Oh, yeah, Lockheed. Look at that.
Oh, Captain Marvel.
Loki.
Yep, Captain Marvel's cat there with the tentacles.
Yep. Who's the mouse with the cape?
That might be Squirrel Girl's sidekick, Tippy Toe.
Oh, okay. Squirrel Girl's sidekick. Oh, I missed the tail. Okay.
Yep. Nice. Kelly Thompson and Goody Hero giving you that great one-shot on page 23. Garth Ennis, Alex Segura, and Ashley Allen, Marvel Zombies Black, White, and Blood 4-issue miniseries. Garth Ennis on Marvel Zombies.
He's co-writing, though. He's not the sole writer.
Oh, I know, but the fact that he's even involved.
Yeah. God, Marvel Zombies feels like they just keep going back to this forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
God. Yeah.
If memory serves, there's also going to be a Marvel Zombies animated coming out, spinning off from the What If episode. So that'll be on its way at some point to Disney Plus. But check that out on page 24. Ooh, look at that Wolverine cover on 25. And then Al Ewing, along with a cast of others, opened the crypt for Crypt of Shadows #1. All Hallows Eve draws nigh, and the dust-covered slab that seals shut the crypt, blocking out the sun and casting it forever in shadow, has creaked open to let the darkness loose to prey on the Marvel Universe.
I want to see some Marvel Universe monsters. Come on.
Yeah.
Very true. Yep.
Oh, wait a minute. We got Man Thing at the top. I misspoke. Werewolf by Night.
Yep.
What is that? The Mummy of the Invisible Man? Who is that in the
on the right?
Yeah. I'm gonna guess Nakantu.
Yeah, probably Nakantu.
Yep.
All right.
Page 26, and Al Ewing's involved. So, plus Declan Shelby and a bunch of others.
Capwolf.
Yes.
Is he gonna piss off a building? Let's wait and see.
There's a wolf once, Jeremy.
Written by Stephanie Phillips with art by one of my favorites, Carlos Magno. Issue 1 of a 4-issue miniseries with a lycanthropic Cap teaming up with Nick Fury and his Howlers back in World War II.
Oh,
look at that variant cover by Gary Frank on page.
Good one.
Ooh,
Golden Age Shield. Yep.
Really
it is cool.
Yep. And then Hallows Eve, the big night. Erica Schultz, Michael Dowling. It's October 31st at ESU, so you know what that means. A Halloween party won't go as planned, and a bunch of powerless kids will be in a lot of trouble.
Good old ESU.
Yeah.
Ian's favorite imaginary New York college.
Very, very true.
With the impossibly large campus. Yes.
Impossibly large, and somehow the tuition is only slightly less expensive than NYU. And it's imaginary. So, that's how about this Saladin Ahmed on spine-tingling Spider-Man as terror continues for the web-slinger. After a fight with Spider-Side, the 90s are back. What?
Yeah, really?
Spider-Man gets taken on the most terrifying ride of his life. If you think you've already read the scariest Spider-Man story ever, you may stand corrected after this one. What's scarier than Spider-Side? I mean, come on. He's the clone with the crazy arms. Like how could you get better than that? Page 29. Look at that cover for page 30. Man.
My son is still going strong on those trades. Every time one's solicited, I get it, and he rips through it like crazy.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear.
Chris, he started the Fantastic Four Galactus saga that I got picked up for him, and he also wanted the first volume of the Amazing Spider-Man with Amazing Fantasy 15 and the first whatever issues are in that epic collection.
Terrific.
Nice.
So very cool.
And Pat Gleason is on the artwork for this 35th issue, along with Zeb Wells. Great cover there by Ed McGuinness as he chores for issue 36, along with Zeb Wells. Black Widow Venom. Great costume design. Like I'm down for the costume design. The Venom of the Widow, page 33. And Miles Morales and Blade, as a Blade bites in Brooklyn. Miles Morales, page 34.
That's one of the Marvel films I'm really anticipating. I know it's a couple years away, but
yeah,
yep,
it's taking too long to get here.
I agree. How about page 35? Talk about a return. Superior Spider-Man returns. Dan Slott on the writing chores. Giuseppe Camuncolo, Humberto Ramos, Mark Bagley, and Ryan Stegman on the artwork chores as we return to the Superior Spider-Man. And this will lead to a new Superior Spider-Man ongoing, which will be written by Dan Slott on page.
It's really been 10 years since they did that.
That seems crazy.
Wow.
Insane how time flies. Yep. Spider-Man India concludes his 5-issue mini. Looking forward to reading that in full, actually, once it's all said and done on page 36. And Uncanny Spider-Man continues.
Go ahead, Ian, say it.
Uncanny Spider-Man?
No, look at the cover.
Oh, yes, Rhino.
There we go.
But check out the variant cover.
Yes. That's great. Nightcrawler getting some love.
The old swashbuckler.
Is that Silver Sable he's romancing there?
Looks like it, Murd.
Appears to be the case.
Yep. Not Amanda Sefton.
Well, Love comes in many forms on page 37.
I love when you get philosophical.
Thank you. This Jean Grey comic, I heard about some of the stuff that happened in issue 1, and I'm looking forward to reading it.
Yeah, I haven't read issue 1 yet.
Wheezy back on Jean Grey. This is issue 3 of 4. Bernard Chang on artwork. I won't give away anything outside of saying that some stuff that you would have figured was long since forgotten lore-wise is not. And
well, that makes sense, because Louis Simonson was Chris Claremont's editor.
Exactly.
For a lot of these stories.
I'm talking a lot more recent than that.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it for when you do actually get to it, but
okay.
Character advancement from Jean Grey comes in many different forms. And
okay,
who better than Wheezy to make it happen? So
and I'll go into this more in our comic talk, but I just the past few weeks I sat down. It's been a while, and I reread Dark Phoenix Saga.
Wow!
And I usually I've read it 100 times, but it's been a while, and I'm really looking forward to discussing it, because reading it again as a 50-year-old man, I got so much out of it. I can't wait to discuss it.
Excellent. Oh wow! Oh man, X-Men 27. Look at that. Yeah, he's been through a lot lately. Poor guy. Variant cover by George Perez, by the way. They dug out some George Perez artwork, the 90s X-Men, and paired it here, and that's awesome to see. But something caught your eye. They really had to go there.
Yep.
I see what you did there, Marvel.
Aye. It's kind of because they sewed his eyes shut.
Yeah.
It just kind of skeezes me out a little bit.
I know. Yeah. It's been a bad couple of weeks for Mr. Scott Summers and the X-Men in general. Bad shit going down, page 41. Who is Nemesis? I guess we'll find out.
Looks like that's the original Alpha Flight team.
It is.
Yeah.
Guardian, Puck, Snowbird, and Shaman. Yep.
Anyone wants to scratch the 80s, if they have an 80s itch, the John Byrne Alpha Flight is great. Those early stories.
Also, look how far they've come on page 42. Bishop and Cable finally working together. Those scamps, they were at each other's throats for a while, but now they're together in Children of the Vaults. So good. Getting over their differences. That was a good era when Bishop was running after Cable. And page 43 here. Juggernaut's come a long way from his beginnings as a bully transformed into an unstoppable foe of the X-Men. In fact, he's become one of Mutant-Kind's best human allies. So why is he trying to kill Firestar? You'll have to read to find out on page 43. Invincible Iron Man 11. Meet the new Hellfire Club. Page 45.
Ooh.
Do they still have the risque 18th century outfits at their gatherings, or?
I hope so. I mean, he's married into the Hellfire Club, essentially. Yeah. Oh my God! Damn. Oof.
That is a hell of a cover.
Yep.
Is Apocalypse when? When everything has already gone wrong, you may think at least you have nothing to worry about. You'd be wrong. Mortal X-Men number 16, Kieran Gillen.
That is on page 46, and that awesome retro ancient Egyptian styled Apocalypse is by Mark Brooks.
Yes, it is. Yep. And then the next page, page 47, has a great Lionel Francis Yu cover as Captain America teams with Wolverine for the first time in a while. Look at that cover for Magneto number 3. It's a Marvel retro pack. It looks like they're packaging together. Are they packaging together 3 and 4? Is that what they're trying to tell us, or what makes it a retro pack?
So it's just a retro pick.
Oh, retro pick.
Pick.
Not pack.
Not pack. Pick.
Pick pack.
I was paused hoping you'd realize when I started to become concerned about your mental coherence, so I felt I had to step in.
Clearly, I was too focused on Magneto being destroyed by someone who looks like Magneto.
Actually, Ian, go back to the top one, please.
Yes.
Murd, is that a riff on the costume Magneto briefly wore in the early Bronze Age? Didn't he have like a purple or orange costume?
With strange piping coming out of the arms.
Yeah.
No, I think this is just like a color flipped version. Color flipped and feminized, because this is a new character who's a Demetrius original. Her name is Ire.
Okay.
The Latin for
you know what? I'm thinking of the costume John Romita Sr. drew when he briefly was penciling Fantastic Four after Kirby left. That's what I think I'm thinking of there.
Yeah. Right. And then that Namor Magneto crossover.
Yep, that's it. That's it, brother. Yep.
Yeah, so I remember that costume very well from when we discussed it in our Magneto Spotlight. And yes, then Magneto takes on Magneto. Is he evil mutant, or is he hero, or is he both?
The 80s headmaster costume.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. M stands for Magneto.
Look at this facsimile. Oh, look at both of them.
Yep.
X-Men 129, the beginning of the Dark Phoenix saga, first appearance of Kitty Pryde, and Daredevil 183, the classic Angel Dust story.
Page 49. Great.
They're just awesome.
And the last days of Moon Knight continue on page 50. Moon Knight and his allies race to intercept the Black Spectre before his apocalyptic schemes bear fruit. Doug Munch on Moon Knight versus Werewolf by Night, Marvel Tales.
So this is a reprint from the classic Monk Sienkiewicz series of the early 80s. Many listeners will know that Moon Knight first appeared in the Bronze Age in Werewolf by Night. And I never read these stories. Prior to this, when they meet again in the Moon Knight's first regular series, which was an excellent series, by the way.
I'm sure they didn't do this on purpose, but it's page 52, and it's reprinting Mark Spector Moon Knight issue 52 and 53.
And Moon Knight 2930 from the first volume.
Mm-hmm.
And Solo Avengers number 3, all of which feature meetings between the Moon Knight and the Werewolf.
Yep. Excellent. Ooh, great cover there for Avengers number 6.
Yep.
Avengers Inc. issue 2, Al Ewing and Leonard Kirk, page 57.
I'll be sure to talk about that when I get the first issue.
Oh, yeah. Her name is Janet Van Dyne. She's known Victor Shade for years as the Vision's cover identity. His name is Victor Shade. Whoever he is, he's not the Vision. And together, they're hunting the ghost of Avengers Mansion, a ghost who might just be the Vision. Did we mention our guest star? Is it the Vision?
Look at Ian's starting to riff, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah. That's how you know I'm still tired.
Ian, have they done a trade of the Scarlet Witch series yet?
I think they may actually, if they haven't solicited it yet, it's definitely
because I really want to follow up on your recommendation and read this.
Yes, it's well worth a read. Yep. In fact, let me see. Scarlet Witch trade paperback, Steve Orlando. Let's see. Clicking on it right now, and that is going to be released in 5 days, actually.
Oh, then I'll just get on my LCS. Great.
Yep.
Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, no problem. It'll be available on August 29th. Yeah, right. Move along here. Issue 404 of X-Men Days of Future Past Doomsday. So if you're full collection for the last chance for the X-Men in the Days of Future Past universe, fill in some of those gaps by Mark Guggenheim and Manuel Garcia. That's available to you on page 62. Right. Benjamin Percy, Ghost Rider Annual number 1. Happy Halloween, Ghost Rider. Elsa Bloodstone in this issue on page 65.
Yeah, she teams up with Ghost Rider to battle the Hood.
Nice.
Remember him?
Yes, indeed. A Brian K. Vaughan creation, if I remember correctly.
You do.
Incredible Hulk number 5 on page 67. That's looking a lot like the Heroes Reborn Hulk with that hair. That's a lot. But the swamp siren revealed. Hulk tracks down the beauty that has been luring man and monster alike to their dooms. We got Man-Thing in this issue as well. Page 67. Great cover again for Fantastic Four, issue 12. Is that wearing a Thor helmet? Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah.
Dinosaur Thor and Dinosaur Captain America taking on the Fantastic Four.
A Brachiosaurus in Iron Man armor. It's
yes.
kind of irresistible, isn't it?
It's pretty awesome, yeah. I'm sure Alex Ross had a lot of fun drawing that. And then Strange Academy Amazing Spider-Man #1. A tie-in with the Strange Academy. Carlos Hernandez and Vasco Georgiev on the writing and art chores, page 72. And first annual comes around for the Alien series out of Marvel with Declan Shelvey on the writing chores and Danny Earls on the artwork, page 73. Absolutely love that variant cover for Star Wars Dark Droids D-Squad.
Yeah, that's cool.
And page 76. Ooh, great cover there as well for Star Wars Vader #29.
39, honey.
39. You are correct, sir.
Mm.
In Star Wars The High Republic Shadows of Starlight #1, page 83.
I really thought there'd be more of the High Republic than what there is. Like, just that it would be a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Well, did Dark Horse do High Republic stories?
No.
I know that they did like Old Republic, but they went way back at one point, didn't they?
This is all tied to the new novels and the new kind of way past that Star Wars was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
They have maybe half a dozen novels at most between adult and young reader novels, and then these comics. But there's not much else out there for High Republic yet.
So High Republic refers to the period before the emergence of the Clone Wars and all that, correct?
Yeah, way before.
Yeah. They only really started working on High Republic stuff back in like 2019, right?
Yeah, something like that. There was a big multimedia release of books, comics, games, or something all at one time for High Republic.
Got it. Yeah, and Charles Soule was one of the architects of all that.
Yeah.
And Shadows of Starlight #1 in there for it, written by him, with Abraham Robertson on the artwork on page 83. Onward we go to the trade section. Black Panther by Christopher Priest Omnibus Volume 2 hardcover available on page 92.
A bazillion pages.
Mm-hmm.
I've already got my Ryan and Dan for my birthday many years ago got me a library bound edition, 2 volumes of the whole series. I treasure it.
Right. Page 94, X Factor by Peter David Omnibus Volume 3.
Favorite of yours, Levy Pooh?
It sure is, yeah. The return of X Factor was such a joy, and Peter David crafted a terrific tale.
Good series, very good series.
Collects 40 through 50 of the 2005 series, as well as issues 200 to 232, and then 224.1 and Nation X Factor.
I always loved the Multiple Men miniseries. They did like in a crime noir type style.
Yeah,
that was really good.
Oh yeah. Yep, absolutely.
That was before he was an X Factor, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
All right. Moving down to the Clone Saga Omnibus Volume 2 hardcover. The Abushema cover on page 98.
1,300 pages almost.
1,300 pages. And then Hulk Gray on page 99.
These gallery editions are stunning. Oh, they're so nice.
Yeah.
Great way to honor Tim Sale.
Yep.
Heading down into the bottom here, we got Spider-Man Volume 2, Who is Spider-Boy, page 107, if you want to know more about that saga. Dan Slott and Mark Bagley on the writing and artwork chores there. Danny Ketch Ghost Rider Blood and Vengeance, page 111, Howard Mackey and Danielle Picciotto on the.
This is Mackey's return to the character, correct?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Collects all 4 issues of said return. And let me go down into the world of the Epic collections real quick. We got an Epic collection for Excalibur, the Ben Robb and Chris Claremont era of Excalibur, collecting issues 116 to 125, X-Men Unlimited number 19, X-Men True Friends 1 to 3, and Excalibur 1 through 4 from 2001.
Yeah, I think that was the Excalibur that didn't have much to do with past incarnations. It was just Professor X and Magneto, who did not die in New X-Men, as it turned out, exploring the rubble of Genosha.
Yep. You are correct about that.
Whenever I think of Excalibur in terms of the comic, I think very fondly of the early Claremont Alan Davis stories, which are just a delight.
Yep.
Absolute delight.
Unreservedly are.
Yep.
126, the Innocenti Daredevil gets an Epic collection. Last Rites trade paperback. And right underneath that, Avengers West Coast Epic collection, Lost in Spacetime by Engelhardt and Mark Bright.
The Epic collections are a good bang for your buck. They have a good page count. It's nice color. I have a couple of them.
Yep. There's a Thunderbolts Dark Reign. That's out of nowhere. Page 128.
That is, God, when did that come out? Jeez.
That's a Dark Reign was like 2006, I believe.
Oh, yeah, there it is. 2006.
Oh,
Yeah.
2000,
Oh, you know what?
That may be 2006, but Dark Reign as a whole came out later because I'm right at the end of 2006 now. They haven't gotten to Dark Reign yet, so
I'm sorry. It's the 2006 era of Thunderbolts. You are correct. Yep. So Dark Reign itself was probably a couple of years after that. Yep. 2008 to 2009. So Paul Jenkins, Christos Gage, Andy Diggle, and Daniel Way on the writing chores there, along with Steve Lieber, Brian Denham, Ben Oliver, Fernando Blanco, and Roberto De La Torre on the artwork. Whole bunch of stuff thrown in there. And if you haven't checked out Ed Piskor's Grand Design,
this is wonderful.
Yeah, and I might, because I have not looked at that yet.
It's well worth it. It's well worth it. Yep. Page 129. This collects. It's the entire Grand Design trilogy that he did for X-Men. So it collects X-Men Grand Design 1 through 2, X-Men Grand Design Second Genesis, and X-Men Grand Design Extinction.
Yeah, I like that it's all together.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's about it for Marvel. Onward we go to Titan real quick. And I don't know if we have anything in Titan this month, but check real quick. You know what? I'll mention this. Afro Samurai, volumes 1 through 2. Was a big fan of Afro Samurai when it came out back in the day. And on page 163, this is a specially commissioned cover and a brand new forward for Afro Samurai. Watch the anime if you can find it, and then this is the manga that goes along with it by Takashi Okazaki on page 163.
My bladder's bursting, gentlemen. Continue. I'll be back with you shortly.
Sounds like a plan. All right. I think that is indeed all for Titan this month. And on we go to Ablaze. And they have the Prism. I'm trying to find the actual... There we are. The Prism by Matteo De Longis. That's on page 180. Big 40-page first issue for the same price as 32 pages. So nice to see a $4 40-page book rather than a $6 40-page book.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep. Noise pollution is crushing life on Earth. The largest mega corporation on the planet finances a crazy project called the Prism, purifying recording interplanetary space mission to combat the phenomenon, sending a musical supergroup into space to record an album that will produce sounds able to push back the threat known as SOTW, smoke on the water.
A fire in the sky.
Yep. This is a fantastic premise. And I may have to check it out. Matteo De Longus of Avengers the Initiative and Skydoll Spaceship takes a far-out premise and builds a visually stunning and convincing new world that will have you mesmerized, telling the story about man's greatest feat in space so far. All available to you on page 180. And you get a couple of preview pages and an interview with the man on the following pages up until about 183.
Well, what Shane and I want to know is, if the thing is called the Prism, why doesn't it show Flyers games?
Got that right.
Little inside baseball there, folks. Prism was the name of a Philadelphia area, the cable channel that had Philadelphia Flyers hockey.
Yep.
Got it. And now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
Do.
I missed the G.I. Joe reference.
It was a G.I. Joe reference in reference to Philadelphia lore. So
okay.
Crueler Than Dead, volume 1 through 2, collected set by Tsukasa Samori and Kozo Takahashi, as Horror Month continues for Ablaze on page 191. If you want to get some Zambi action, that's for you there. Phantom Halls #1 out of Opus Comics. Ian Edgington is the writer on this. Carlos Olivare. Spooky season brings the thrills from Opus. In this Tales from the Crypt throwback, a group of teens from the Occult Studies Club set out on an assignment, but they quickly find themselves attempting to survive the night in a haunted mansion. Prepare to face the undead terrors that stalk the Phantom Halls. This is some good throwback action for you on page 195.
It's a great mock EC cover there. And check the cover price, $6.66. Funny, but it's still a 32-page comic, so it's not that funny.
Yeah. And 24 pages of story, mind you, it even says there. 32 pages, wow. 24 pages of story for $6.66. Yeesh. Still funny, though. Page 195.
Hey, it's expensive to make an indie comic.
Yes, it is. That is very true. Frank Frazetta's Beyond the Grave. Justin Jordan on the writing shores with Sebastian Carbel as the latest collaboration with Fantasy Arts great master is a horrifying tale of the undead. Frank Frazetta brings the scares for you on page 196, as he is known to do.
Also $6.66 cover price, but for 30 story pages this time.
Oh, okay. All right. Still a lot. Helicious #1. This is out of Massive Publishing. AC Medina and Mina Elwell. A little more kid-friendly Halloween action this time around. Get a brand new cover releases of the sold-out debut issue of Helicious, soon to be an animated series starring Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. On page 200. Those are words I wasn't expecting it to say.
You got to figure he's playing the devil, right?
He has to be. There's no other option for that one. It's like if Dave Grohl has played the devil, then Anthony Kiedis gets to play the devil. So Cherry, the devil prankster granddaughter and the cutest grim reaper in hell, is honestly just trying to have some fun and make new friends. She loves everything about hell. Its burning landscapes, its horrific inhabitants, and especially the demonic mother and grandfather. She has everything she wants except the best friend. Aww. There's nobody to play with. Anyone who tries ends up pulverized, which makes Cherry a very lonely princess of the damned. This is going to be great. Helicious. Page 200. Wow. Page 204. The newest killer comic from Sumerian out of Massive. Michael Calero on the art, on the writing chores, Piotr Kowalski and Brad Simpson on the art chores. American Psycho, the comic. Step back into the neon-lit streets of 1980s New York City, where appearances deceive and darkness lurks beneath the polished surface of wealth. as we invite you to witness Patrick Bateman's infamous killing spree through a brand new lens, as a familiar character from the film is revealed to be much more than they appeared.
That's very much a Christian Bale likeness.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And as a man who went to see the American Psycho musical, I think I might be down for this comic book on page 204. That musical was a goddamn delight. It was insane. All right. Let's get a little bit further down and pass there into what appears to be the beginning of the rest of the.
Oh, but wait, it's not in alphabetical order just yet.
Yes. Page 216, Dark Horse, PRH. I don't know why it says PRH, but okay. Canary, Scott Snyder, Dan Panosian. What else do you need to know? 1891, a mine collapsed into itself. What was the dark substance found 666 feet underground? Wow, I sense a trend here. Blending modern horror, historical fact, and Western lore, Scott Snyder and Dan Panosian have created a uniquely terrifying thriller with Canary. That sounds great.
Yep, based in fact of the mining industry, when gold mining operations began to turn up uranium and the horrific ecological consequences it tended to have.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, Snyder is known to very much understand horror in many different ways, and I'm sure this one is going to be right up everyone's alley. How about page 217? Crossover giant robot Hellboy? Hellboy is kidnapped and hooked up to a massive mecha Hellboy for a mission on a mysterious faraway island. Yes?
Sounds good to me. It's written by Mignola, and Duncan Fagredo is doing the artwork.
Good artist, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Let's get some Voltron Hellboy action going on.
I'm down.
Page 217 for that. Colin Bunn gives us Midnight Show, #1, on page 219. New supernatural horror series about monsters of the Silver Screen coming to life and wreaking havoc on a small town. Dig the premise. It's the right time of year, and only available in U.S. and Canada. Sorry, foreign comic book readers. But outside of North America, you are not going to find it, unfortunately. So, unless you somehow manage to get one off of eBay from somebody else. But rights issues, I'm sure, are the reason behind that. Midnight Show #1, page 219.
And #2. How about that? They're releasing 2 issues in a month.
Yes, indeed. The second issue is also only available in U.S. and Canada. Sorry. Operation Sunshine. Like the name, like the covers. It's from New York Times best-selling hosts of the hit The Last Podcast on the Left and Black Hammer's David Rubin. Come this all-new humorous horror and action-packed comic book series that's Near Dark meets Ocean's 11.
Huh.
Yeah. Group of young alienated vampires known as bugs plot to steal magical objects from ancient monstrous vampires to turn themselves back to human. Along the way, they uncover a sprawling monster underground, a top secret plot run by the elder creatures, elite militant vampire slayers, and madness beyond imagining, blocking their paths to humanity. Fun premise there. Available only in US and Canada. Page 220.
Wow.
And Space Usagi, Yokai Hunter, one-shot on that same page. Written and drawn by Stan Sakai. It's Usagi Yojimbo in space. What more do you need?
On page 222, we've got a beautiful complete Norse mythology hardcover here. Looks like a slipcase kind of situation. It's all 3 volumes, all the issues written by Neil Gaiman and P. Craig Russell, art by Mignola, and a lot of other talented people. It's gorgeous. It's just very well written, just beautiful interpretations of classic Norse myths. Highly recommended by this scholar of world mythologies.
Wow.
And in the lower left-hand corner there, as Operation Sunshine gave us kind of a fun variant take on vampires, here's the continuation of another one that a couple of us here in this call have experienced. The All-Nighter, written by Chip Zdarsky, with art by Jason Liu. It's a digital-first kind of thing. It's about a little informal family of vampires that run an all-night diner just to get by. And one of them decides to try being a superhero because he's a fan of superhero movies and ends up getting himself and his little clan family of vampires into trouble with the supernatural authorities, as it were. Dark Horse released a print collection of the first 5 issues of that a little while ago, and it ended in kind of a weird place. And I was concerned that we'd never see how the story turned out. But here's volume 2, giving us issues 6 through 10 of that story. And I'm very pleased to see more of these characters in this concept.
You spoke very highly of the first volume, Murd. So,
yeah, man,
it is Zdarsky after all.
Yep,
I love those first couple issues as well. So, yep. Well, very happy to see more of it, and I'll have to go back on Comixology and read the digital versions of these comics as well on page 222. On that next page, The Many Deaths of Barnaby James gets a trade paperback collection. So if you missed it the first time around, Neil Gibson and Brian Nathanson bring us every year the circus comes to town. However, the blacktop isn't like anything you've seen before. Its performers were once dead, and they've been resurrected by their fearsome ringmaster, Azion. Barnaby James, a young gravedigger, requests that Azion resurrect the love of his life, Delia. Time and time again, his pleas are rejected. Frustrated, Barnaby decides to steal Azion's magic wand and bring back Delia himself. On his desperate journey to find her, Barnaby must overcome murderers, cannibals, and sex slavers, not to mention the full fury of Azion, or he might find himself dead again. The Many Deaths of Barnaby James, available on page 223. That sounds awesome. And on that same page, the deluxe edition of Hellsing, Volume 2, one of my favorite manga of all time, available for you on page 223. And Trigun, also available on that same page. And then IDW. IDW brings us another Scott Snyder book, Dark Spaces Dungeon, written by Scott Snyder with art by Hayden Sherman. It's the next installment in their critically acclaimed Dark Spaces anthology series, out of IDW on page 226. Love me some anthologies. Check that one out. Jeffrey Lambert and Claire Rowe bring Dark Spaces Hollywood special on page 227.
Jeremy Lambert, my friend.
Yes, I said Jeremy, didn't I?
You said Jeffrey.
I said Jeffrey. Jeremy Lambert. Claire Rowe. That's the 3rd issue in the Dark Spaces Hollywood special, page 227.
Hollywood.
And Eric Burnham brings us Ministry of Compliance on page 229. Academy Award-winning filmmaker and critically acclaimed comic book writer John Ridley delivers a bold new vision of science fiction with Ministry of Compliance. 37 years ago, Earth was secretly invaded by an alien force known as the Devolution, and they have been shaping the direction humanity has been going in ever since to prepare us to be assimilated into their empire. Sounds great. The Devolution has 13 species, each responsible for manipulating a different aspect of human life. The Ministry of Compliance, the most feared of all the ministries, led by fierce Abigail Senna, make sure all the ministries stay in line and remain focused on the Devolution's mission. As it appears, the ministry's mission is on the verge of being completed and Earth will be assimilated. Things begin to go terribly wrong, and a conspiracy among the ministries breaks out that Abigail must deal with head on. So a John Ridley design with Eric Burnham on the writing. Ministry of Compliance, issue 1 on page 229. I'm gonna have to check out this Rocketeer Den of Thieves once it's all said and done.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting to see some art from it.
Yeah. Well, we can't even see a cover for it because there is
no
page 230. At least they have covers.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, at least they have covers for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I'll speak about this in more detail in our next comic talk, but anyone who's a lover of Star Trek, you owe it to yourself to read the current IDW titles.
Mm-hmm.
It's going home. It's that good.
I have them. I have to start them.
Yep. I'll wax rhapsodic next comic talk.
Excellent. And a Halloween special on 233 for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures, written by Eric Burnham once again, with Sarah Meyer and Dan Schoening on the art chores, page 233.
Did you enjoy the film, Levy Poo?
I very much did, and I can't talk more about it.
Look forward to hearing about it.
Yeah.
It's probably my second favorite Ninja Turtles movie ever, honestly. Page 235, Genius Animated, the cartoon art of Alex Toth.
That's going to look gorgeous.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Toth's one of the great masters in the history of the medium. So
let's go.
Below that, you have an edition of John Byrne's work on X-Men.
Yep.
So
a whole lot of pretty stuff for you on page 235.
Ian, I'm sorry, go back one page to the Richard Stark's Parker, the complete collection.
Yes.
So, this is all the Darwin Cook stories in one volume.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'll have to get this because mine were destroyed in the flood in my house two falls back. But Cook's interpretation of the Parker novels is breathtaking. I can't recommend them enough. So I'm looking forward to getting this.
Yeah, and this is all 4 books, 520 pages total, collected in one complete collection there. Page 236. And onward we go to the rest of the and alphabetical. 241. All you, Murd.
All right. It's back to Ahoy Comics. It's at the very bottom of page 241. It's The Wrong Earth, We Could Be Heroes, number 1 of 2. Tom Pyre is writing. The art is by our friends. Both of them are friends of ours. Jamal Eigel and Juan Castro, cover by Castro. And Jamal's been talking this up on social media already. It's a great concept. It's basically what would happen if Adam West Batman and Frank Miller Batman ended up on each other's parallel Earths. And got mixed up with each other's foes and supporting casts and blah, blah, blah. So that's basically what The Wrong Earth is about. There's been a few miniseries and one-shots along the way, and this is the original creative team coming back to it, and it's great fun.
Every month I search to see if there's a Wrong Earth issue being solicited.
And how about that cover A, the send-off to giant-size X-Men? That's great.
It's the one I put on my order.
Nice. Very much looking forward to reading that.
Page 248 is interesting for those who are fans of Calvin and Hobbes. Mysteries hardcover. So Waterson has teamed up with John Cash, forgive me if I mispronounced that, one of America's most renowned caricaturists, because a mysterious and beautifully illustrated fable of what it lies beyond human understanding. In this fable for grown-ups, long ago kingdom is afflicted with unexplainable calamities. Hoping to end the torment, the king dispatches knights to discover the source of the mysterious events. Years later, a single battered knight returns. This is our Arthurian riff. For the book's illustrations, Waterson and characters John Cash worked together for several years in unusually close collaboration. Both artists have been on their pathways of working, inventing images together that neither could anticipate. A mysterious process in its own right. Wow.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, any fan of Waterson should definitely be checking this one out. Absolutely. Just scrolling up real quick 2 pages to 246. Both things on this page I wanted to check out. But Are You Afraid of the Dark, Volume 1, The Tale of the Witch's Wing. Anyone who was a fan of Are You Afraid of the Dark back in the 90s or is a fan of the more recent reboot might be willing to check this out, as it's Halloween season, and this collects a bunch of Are You Afraid of the Dark ghost stories, all in one volume. The Tale of the Witch's Wings by Taylor K. Mejia and Junyi Wu on the artwork chores. And then on that same page, Marvel Super Stories, all new comics from all-star cartoonists. Welcome to the Marvel Universe and the world outside your window. All of your favorite Marvel superheroes are here in all new 6-page stories written and illustrated by some of the biggest names in comics for young readers.
Oh, terrific.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these mighty team-ups include Black Panther, Jerry Craft, Wiccan, Mike Corrado, Miles Morales by C.G. Esperanza, John Gallagher does a Iron Man story. The list goes on and on. Gail Galligan of Babysitters Club does a Shang-Chi story in this.
Chris Giarrusso, who did G-Man, he appeared in some of my Wild Pig shows. Hell of a nice guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. And he's done some great stuff outside of just G-Man as well over the years. He did that. He used to do like a backup in Marvel Comics that was sort of like a kids Marvel like strip. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, check it out. All ages Marvel fun for you on page 244.
On page 260 when you get there, honey.
Excellent. Before I do, we'll go with page 253 here. Fear the Funhouse, Toy Box of Terror by Timmy Heeg, Daniel Page, Michael Northrup, art by Ryan Kasky, Tango, Ryan Gempole. In Riverdale, even the toys are terrifying in this anthology one-shot set in the universe of last year's successful Fear the Funhouse. So nice Halloween one-shot anthology out of the Archie comics on page 253. And then a more traditional Halloween spectacular right underneath it. Took the words right out of your mouth there, sir.
Mm-hmm, so you did.
And scripting by DeFalco.
Tom DeFalco. Murd is not a big DeFalco fan. That's where we lovingly differ.
His lips are sealed. Some DeFalco, yes. Other DeFalco, not so much. Page 254. Spider-Girl, yes. Other
Spider-Girl, yes.
Not
Fantastic Four, no.
100% the case, yes.
I think I'm okay with his Archie stuff.
There you go.
260. I was wanting to talk about 40 Men and 12 Rifles, the graphic novel written by Marcelino Trong. Forgive me if I mispronounced that. David Homel. So this takes place in 1954 when the French are trying to retain control of what they called Indochina, which was Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. That was their colony. And this story follows a young Vietnamese who ends up fighting in Ho Chi Minh's forces against the French, and apparently he's a critical thinker and is questioning the communist sort of cadres who are running his unit. And I always love a great story that has a historical context, and this is a part of the Vietnam history that Americans don't forget, that there were actually multiple Vietnam wars. Ours was the last one,
right? And
because the Vietnamese have been fighting against French, the Japanese, the French again, and the United States. However you view the war, but this looks like a very interesting story from a lesser known period of that generational conflict. So I'll probably check this out.
Excellent. Out of Arsenal Pulp Press on page 260.
Boy, they got a lot of mileage at the cross.
Yes, indeed. You ain't kidding. That's basically how Avatar stays afloat, I feel like. Page 270, new edition of Not All Robots by Mark Russell and Mike Deodato Jr. Being offered on page 270. It's the year 2056, where robots have replaced human beings in the workforce, and an uneasy coexistence develops between the newly intelligent robots and the 10 billion humans living on Earth. Every human family is assigned a robot upon whom they are completely reliant. What could possibly go wrong?
Skynet.
Yeah.
Dave?
Meet the Walters.
Dave.
A human family whose robot, Razorball, ominously spends his free time in the garage working on machines, which they're pretty sure are designed to kill them in this Eisner Award-winning sci-fi satire from Mark Russell and Mike Deodato Jr.
Hal, open the doors. Hal.
Nothing is wrong. Please proceed your life.
And what's the robot's name? Razor or something?
Razor Ball.
I'm not sure that'd be the name I give my robot that's serving me or helping.
Can you pass the butter? Yes, the butter is poisoned. Essential item, page 276. Deadbeats, a musical horror anthology. Those are words that I like. The Deadbeats music shop is filled with deadly secrets run by the mysterious shopkeeper. Customers can browse through cursed records, evil sheet music, and instruments of the damned. Our host has dozens of spooky stories to tell you from some of the top names in comics. You're going to want to put on your favorite album when you crack open this anthology. That's my type of Halloween right there, page 276. Out of A Wave Blue World, Inc. 277, Barbara Macabre's Morbid Museum. It's Halloween, folks. The Morbid Museum is now open for business. Reanimated supermodel Barbara Macabre brings you a bevy of EC-style horror tales featuring rhyming narrations, which read like Stephen King crossed with Dr. Seuss. Good times. Page 277.
I got nothing myself till page 327.
Well then. Mundus Tenebris. Hard to say. Page 282. Not everything that happens is all as it seems. Father David, after a failed exorcism, and why do these exorcisms keep failing? Experiences a crisis of faith that leads him to question, I don't know if there was supposed to be a dash there, the purity of the church he serves. A mysterious woman will cross his path with an offer to answer his questions. But who is she? Will Father David be prepared for the truth? Mundus Tenebris is a path of discovery through the darkness. Do you dare to walk it with David? On page 282.
Right there on page 288.
Yep.
I was going to mention that myself. It's a spotlight for Horror Month from Brilliant Enterprises. It's a series called The Gun Hand, and it's about Frankenstein's monster who finds his way to New York City in 1888. On the ship ride over there, he had an arm chopped off, and he replaces it with an artificial arm that turns out to be possessed. And it's basically Frankenstein's monster as a gunslinger making his way across the North American continent at the end of the 19th century, finding his way from New York to California and having supernatural misadventures along the way.
Got to appreciate that. The hand is cursed. That's bad.
That's good. The toppings are also cursed.
That's bad. 288. Whenever we can bring that up, it makes me happy. Also, I just love how many different takes on the Frankenstein monster there can be in this world, and they're all unique and they're all different, and it's great. Speaking of just looking on 290, Jess Smith had a heart attack recently, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so unfortunately the case. Yeah, he's recovering. He's canceled the rest of his bookings for the rest of the year, so he'll be skipping all Comic Cons for the rest of 2023. But he's basically recovering. And Marv Wolfman had a slight health scare.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think I wasn't sure if it was also a heart attack or something of the sort, but not. He's since recovered enough to be active online, but he's still definitely in recovery mode, at least one way or the other. So
best wishes to both. Yeah,
indeed. Yep. Super Scouts on page 291. Ryan Little and Bruno Oliveira, 30 years after they were the stars of a hit Super Sentai show, Super Scouts. No idea what they're referencing there. The washed-up actors discover their show was based on real intergalactic war. Now to save the galaxy, they must become the heroes they once pretended to be. So it sounds like
this is...
Yeah.
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest meets Power Rangers, basically. Okay. On page 291. I'm all for that. Have to mention this on page 292. Run and Hide: How Jewish Youth Escaped the Holocaust. This is by Dan Brown. In the tightening grip of Hitler's powers, towns, cities, and ghettos were emptied of Jews. Unless they could escape, Jewish children would not be spared their deadly fate in the Holocaust, a tragedy of unfathomable depths. Only 11% of the Jewish children living in Europe before 1939 survived the Second World War. Run and Hide tells the stories of these children, forced to leave their homes and families as they escape certain horror. I mean, I really want to read this, but once again, I'll have to be in the right mood because this is some very, very sad stuff. But
very heavy, yeah.
Well, it's a very important aspect of the study of the Holocaust because, I think sometimes people tend to, it's such an immense event and the statistics are so staggering. You sometimes can forget the sort of the individual stories and the children are like, and the book reminds the children, I mean, their chance of survival were so slim because the Nazis didn't use them for labor, so they just would kill them. Yep. So I'm sure this is a really important work. And what else has Don Brown done?
Don Brown, let's see. It's a very familiar name. I'll have to look it up. Let's see. Don Brown comics. The Shadow of the Fallen Towers. If that sounds familiar to you. Let's see. I'm trying to find some other stuff that we may know. Nonfiction for younger readers. Ruth Law, Thrills of Nation. I mean, there's tons of stuff on his bio. So he most of which is historical fiction, one way or the other. He's done both nonfiction for older readers and nonfiction for younger readers, as well as historical fiction over the years. So
all right, great.
That's a sweet spot. Yep. And then I think that's it for this page. Let me scroll on a little bit further. Whole lot of art books this month, especially the Marvel portfolio of David Mack on page 297. Gorgeous artist. What Child Is This? A Sherlock Holmes Christmas Adventure on page 299.
Frank Cho illustrations.
Yes. Yep. This is now in paperback. The Sherlock Holmes Christmas novel recommended on seasonal best of lists by both the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal. Set in Christmas 1980.
1890.
Thank you, Chief. I have dyslexia today, and I'm not sure why. Nevertheless, it's Christmas 1890, and games are afoot. In a packed Oxford street, a man tries to kidnap a young woman's child, but Holmes and Watson leap to the rescue, and the assailant escapes empty-handed. Who would do such a thing? And more importantly, will he strike again? From the depths of London's workhouses to the pinnacle of glittering Christmas Eve party in Mayfair, this is to be a Christmas that will require not only Holmes's celebrated scientific method, but also the bravery for which he and Watson are renowned.
Yep. I have a hardcover copy of this in my possession. I have, of course, not read it.
Shane, you're going Max Headroom there on us. Are you all right?
I know. I just noticed that.
Catch the wave, Shane.
I'm trying to find something in the previous thing that I wanted to mention, and I can't find it. And all of a sudden, I look over, and I'm like, Oy, okay.
All of a sudden, Shane is quite literally riding the wave.
Yeah. Wow. The blur at the top, man. Freaking out.
Oh my God.
There's many multiverses of Shanes coming through at one time.
Yep. Apparently our multiversal switch got glitched there for a minute. 301, Josh Blaylock has a new book, Ark World, with Travis Himmel on the artwork. When a discovery turns our understanding of history upside down, we meet a couple who abruptly find themselves swept up in a deep state conspiracy that threatens their world. Only the year is 1100 BCE, and their advanced world was nothing like we have been told. Nor does our couple know the role they will play in the survival of society's knowledge in the years to come.
Sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it really does. Collects the first 3 installments of Ark World in one graphic novel by Josh Blaylock out of Devil's Due on page 301. Josh Blaylock, I believe, one of the founders of Devil's Due, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, he was involved when they got the G.I. Joe license, right?
Yes, he was.
That's right.
Also, pretty sure he's been on CGS a couple times, if memory serves.
Yeah, gosh, years ago.
Forever and a day ago, yeah. Disney Lucas Press on page 302 brings us Star Wars: The High Republic, Jedi Brave in Every Way graphic novel by Rosemary Soul, with artwork by Charles Soule. And then Star Wars World of Reading Level 1, Meet the Galactic Heroes graphic novel, a all ages reading a book for the kiddos. Illustrated fairy early reader on page 302. Dan Klaus's Death Ray graphic novel, also on that exact same page, for anybody who hasn't checked that one out.
Gone, baby, gone.
Yeah, that's a very, very striking cover by Jock there on page 7 for Gone. It's out of Distillery, which is one of the more new comic companies out there. That this is by Jock, writing and drawing a creator-owned project for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't realize he never had before, to be honest.
Yeah.
This is on a impoverished and distant planet where menial workers search out a living, resupplying starships. The best place to be is gone. And that's exactly where 13-year-old Abby wants to be. Along with her street tough friends, Abby stows away on a colossal luxury space liner for a better life. Unbeknownst to her, her friends are not who they seem. Abby suddenly finds herself branded a saboteur as she desperately struggles to evade the ship's deadly crew to stay alive. Gone #1 on page 306 by the legendary Jock. This sounds fantastic.
Art is stunning.
Looks amazing. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna have to check this out when it's collected.
Yeah.
We're ready. What page did you say?
327, honey. 327. Shane will especially appreciate this.
Excellent. 327 it is.
I had something on page 323.
Well, then 323 it is. There you are.
Yep, right there at the bottom of that page. This is from Fantagraphics. It's called A Christmas Bestiary by John Ken Mortensen and Benny Bödker. And it describes itself as a guidebook to all the horrors that await us during the wintry season, from common creatures such as Baba Yaga and the Krampus, who I don't really think of as that common, to less encountered Yule White and the Grilla. I think that family photo there on the lower right is probably the Yule lads of Iceland. So it's got kind of like a what's the name of the cartoonist's name here? Jonathan Gore, perhaps, or Gore, or well, anyway, it's a black and white Gothic-looking pen and ink drawings of these creepy creatures associated with winter and Christmas time.
Yep,
good seasonal read there.
Nice and creepy in a fun way.
Yeah.
Gustave Doré. That's the name I was trying to think of.
I love when Murd puts on his Yuletide scholar hat. Ah, magnificent.
Excellent. All right, and that was 327, correct?
Yep. So Patrick Stewart's released a memoir.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Nice.
Should be interesting.
Make it so a memoir. I look forward to the audiobook.
My God, I just watched the clip of him on Graham Norton's show where he talks about the argument him and his wife were having about his doctor's visit then. If you've not seen it,
I have seen that. I have seen that. Oh my God. It's amazing, yes.
Hugh Jackman is there laughing.
It's hilarious.
Oh my God,
hilarious.
Hysterical.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's a Graham Norton clip. You said okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll give it. On the page right before that, by the way, I'll call out Hockey Girls Love Drama Boy, graphic novel on page 326 by Faith Erin Hicks. It should have been a night of triumph for Alex's hockey team. But when her mean girl team captain, Lindsay, goes after Alex with her cruelest dig yet, Alex loses what remains of her self-control and punches Lindsay out. Before she knows it, their coach is dragging Alex off Lindsay, and her invitation to the Canada National Women's U18 team's summer camp is on the line. Alex is shaken. She needs to learn how to control the anger, and she's sure Ezra, the popular and poised theater kid from her grade, is the answer. So she asks him for help, but as they hang out and start to get closer, Alex learns that there is more to Ezra than the cool front he puts on. That maybe this friendship could become something more. Hockey Girl loves Drama Boy, which I totally just called out because it's called that on page 326. Looks like it could be a lot of fun.
I have an entry on page 336 when you get there.
Terrific.
I'm up on 411 when we get there because I finally found what I was looking for.
Excellent. You said 330. What again? I'm sorry.
336, brother. 336.
There we are. Excellent.
So this is interesting. Again, an historical-based comic. The true story of beloved Cambodian singer Ras Series Sothia. Her golden voice helped define Cambodia's golden age of music until her mysterious disappearance in the killing fields of the Khmer Rouge. So I traveled through Cambodia in 2012 with my family. We went to Vietnam and Cambodia. And probably the most visceral experience I had of human evil when you go to these killing fields. The Khmer Rouge were a fanatical communist movement that took over the country in the wake of the Vietnam War, and they murdered about a third of the Cambodian population in their zeal to remake Cambodia into an agricultural utopia. And it's I guess this was a very famous musician of the time. Who, I'm assuming she was murdered. They just say she disappeared. But any story that casts a light on that really horrifying period in history of Southeast Asia, I think deserves some recognition.
Absolutely, yeah. Fascinating, honestly, and the artwork is terrific.
Yep,
very lifelike and expressionistic. 342, The Cat from the Kimono, also out of Humanoids. Nancy Pena on the writing and artwork. This surreal and imaginative adult fairy tale follows a beautiful black cat through a fantastical world where he'll survive impossible odds to make his way home to his mistress's kimono. Interesting premise right there. And the artwork is great.
And this magical cat meets Sherlock Holmes and Watson along the way.
Wow.
The things that can happen when you least expect it.
Yeah.
Page 361 when you get there, honey.
Terrific. All right. Let's see if there's anything before then. Sean Aldred's Vic Boone, Volume 1, Malfunction Murder, is solicited on page 356. Want to make sure to point that one out for all of you listeners out there. And I am good. You said 360.
Yes, brother. Actually,
361, actually.
Yeah, so, and 362, but the MCU, the reign of Marvel Studios.
Wow. Yep. Wow. I missed that.
Yeah.
So as they call a definitive chronicle of Marvel Studios in its sole ongoing production, interviewing producers or actors, directors, the contentious hiring of Robert Downey Jr. for its 2008 debut Iron Man, all the way up to the disappointment of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And shocking
I won't disagree with that.
Multiple Marvel executives in 2023. Dishy and authoritative. MCU is the first book to tell the Marvel Studios story in full.
Huh.
I like that. How did an upstart studio conquer the world? Well, in my opinion, they did it right for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Yep, that would be the way. 360. It is also mentioned. Since I pointed it out on a couple of other books, this is only available in U.S. territories, Mexico, Central and South America. Will not even be available in Canada from the looks of it.
That's bizarre.
No love for Europe, man.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm sure there'll be further distribution, at some point, but this is where it's starting off. So page 361.
And the next page, The Strange Death of Alex Raymond hardcover by Dave Sim.
Oh, wow.
Carson Gruba. So it's Sim he brings to life the history of comics' greatest creators using their own techniques, equal parts understanding comics and From Hell. Strange Death is a head-on collision of ink drawing and spiritual intrigue, pulp comics and movies, history and fiction. The story traced the lives and techniques of Alex Raymond, Flash Gordon, Rick Kirby, Stan Drake, Juliet Jones, and Hal Foster, Prince Valiant, and more, dissecting their techniques, the recreation of their artwork, and highlighting the metatextual resonances that bind them together. Wow, it's a fascinating concept.
It is, yeah. That's, And I mean, anything Dave Sim is going to be, outstanding to begin with.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well worth checking out. Definitely. Good call out, sir.
Thanks, Honey Pie.
Anytime.
Mm-hmm. Anytime.
Page 379, The Man from Maybe. This is first issue of a 3-issue mini by Jordan Thomas with art by Shaky Kane. Shaky Kane. Amidst the irradiated plains walks a legend who is more than man. Beware the man from Maybe. In the dry and dead future that's coming soon, all life belongs to Oppenheimer-obsessed billionaire Harvard Denny and his corporate scavengers from Smile Inc., who pillage the wastelands in search of atomic contraband. And that's where the man from Maybe steps in. 3-issue mini. Very sci-fi 60s artwork. Mm-hmm. I am down for this entirely.
I'm feeling some Kirby influence in the concept.
You better believe it. Yep, definitely.
Oh, look at that panel. Fabulous.
Very nice. All right.
Look at page 388, all of the Marvels soft cover.
Mm-hmm.
So Douglas Wolk read all 27,000 comics to make up the Marvel universe to somehow make sense of it all. From Alpha Flight to Omega the Unknown.
Oh my God. How did he not go insane? Oh, wow. That is something. I mean, to talk about a reference book.
As a prism through which to view the landscape of American culture, looking over close to 60 years of Marvel's comics, Wolk sees fascinating patterns in the way they all feed into a potent cosmology that echoes our deepest hopes and fears.
All right. Fantastic. Yeah, that if you do wind up checking it out, Chris, let me know, because that's fascinating as heck. Page 388.
Then you're on page 411, you said?
Yep.
Page 395. Speaking of Chris Eliopoulos and Brad Meltzer.
Look at that.
Wow.
I Am Mr. Rogers, soft cover. They've been doing these kids' books for a while now.
Yeah.
One that 100% deserves to be told.
Wasn't there a picture recently of Chris with Linda Carter holding a book?
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
Very recent, yeah. Yep. Happy to see them touching on Mr. Rogers.
Oh, Mr. Rogers, yeah. I still have to watch a couple of those movies that came out in the last couple of years about Mr. Rogers.
Won't You Be My Neighbor is really good, but the actual documentary about him is terrific.
One of my old coworkers used to work on Nantucket when she was younger, and he would come into the store she worked at every now and then to get groceries and stuff.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Page 399, by the way, Mitch #1 by Maxim Simic and Hugo Petrus, that is. Mitch mixes comedy, sci-fi, and urban fantasy with character, as Mitch is the anthropomorphic lead juxtaposed to the seemingly realistic world of the late 90s. It's chunky Roger Rabbit with a bad temper meets Indiana Jones set in a San Raimi-looking cityscape. That is a heck of a description right there. Mitch #1 on page 399.
Before we get to Shane's outstanding selection on page 411, I just saw it, Shane. I want to mention something on page 409.
And I will send you straight to 409, sir.
Honored, Levy Poo. Tomorrow's, of course. So a lot of offered again, but the new Alter Ego 185. I love when they do the deep dive history. So we've got a report on 1940s Novelty Comics Group. You familiar with that, Murd?
Well, not by that name, but I do recognize the Blue Bolt, certainly.
Blue Bolt is the one I recognize as well. So we get a history of the Blue Bolt, Target and the Targeteers, White Streak, Space Hawk, produced by such Golden Age superstars as Joe Simon and Jack Kirby, Carl Burgos, Bill Everett, Basil Wolverton, et al. So again, Alter Ego, all the Tomorrow's books, always providing us these definitive histories that are so valuable for our appreciation of the medium. Now, Shane.
Hold on. Before we do anything else here, I just have to mention Cliffhanger Cinematic Superheroes of Serials, 1941 to 1952, on the bottom of that page 409.
Mm-hmm.
And that's serials of Superman, Captain America, Spy Smasher, and Captain Marvel.
Good shout out, Ian. Good shout out. Yeah.
Dovetailed with the early film adaptations. Along the way, you'll meet the stuntmen, directors, comic book creators, and actors involved in the process. Cliffhanger Cinematic Superheroes of Serials, 1941 to 1952.
Oh, what a great book.
Yep. By Christopher Irving. Also on that page 409.
409.
See Batman's droopy ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They couldn't find a way to keep them up.
Go back up.
Okay. I'm here.
There it is.
All right. The Nightmare Before Xmas, a Futurama Christmas story.
Yes.
Join Fry, Leela, and Bender as they battle Robot Santa on Christmas Eve. This delightful book reimagines... What's that?
Xmas Eve. You're using an archaic pronunciation.
Remember, it's Xmas in the future.
This delightful book reimagines the traditional poem with the beloved characters of Matt Groening's award-winning Futurama series. Deck the halls along with the crew of Planet Express in this newly minted Christmas classic featuring new art and original story inspired by the iconic holiday poem. I put that one right on my order, man. That's going to be fun.
That's going to be great. And I've watched the first couple of episodes of the revival, and it's Futurama again. Like they haven't missed a beat.
The most recent episode so far is my favorite.
Okay. The last one I watched was the one with the kids.
Okay. That one's good. Yeah. That one's good, but I really enjoyed what they did in this last one.
All right. We are just about done, but a couple of last things to point out. One, Something Crawled Out, #1. Because it's called Something Crawled Out. Sun M is the writer, and the artist is Kaz Madkirst Pirano. Kaz Madkirst Pirano. That is a name. Something wicked crawled out screaming. Edith Eddie Miller has no grand plans or great prospects. She spends her days sleeping in and her nights working shifts at a gas station. When her younger sister fails to come home, Eddie unearths a web of missing girls and rotting bodies. The police prove useless, so Eddie teams with her best friend Rainer in a desperate hunt to find her sister. The only thing is, Eddie believes her best friend might be the devil himself. Well, isn't that just peachy? Something Crawled Out on page 417. And I think I'm up to manga unless we have anything beforehand.
One quick comment in the Valiant section.
Yes.
The Jen Van Meter Dr. Mirage book, wasn't that a highly acclaimed title? I feel like it was.
Yeah, I have vague recollection of it being highly regarded, so I'm going to go with yes on that one.
I just remember that the cover images, I remember them being very striking in the trades that they have there. And I may have to revisit that because that's in the back of my head that was supposed to be a really acclaimed book.
Yep. Page 414 for reference has a bunch of those Dr. Mirage books. All right.
All right, Ian, what's your pick this month?
Let's see. I gotta find something manga-y enough for me to reference. So, started off on page what's the page number here? Page 434. The Great Yokai War, Guardians Volume 1, the manga adaptation of the hit Japanese movie the same name. This is by Yusuke Watanabe, artwork by Sanama Suzuki. After giant kaiju threaten to destroy Japan, the guardian spirit of the nation, known as yokai, appear before the young boy Kei. They tell him he is a descendant of the legendary monster slayer Watanabe no Tsuna, and may be the only person who can stop the catastrophe. So check that one out for The Great Yokai War Guardians Volume 1 on page 434. And let's see if there's at least a couple of others that catch my eye as I go further down. If you want some horror, and boy oh boy does this look horrifying, 441, Mimi's Tale of Terror by Junji Ito. A new Itoverse heroine is born. Tiptoe along as Mimi endures horrors based on true events. These spine-tingling tales are brought to life by horror master and 4-time Eisner Award winner Junji Ito. On page 441, Mimi's Tale of Terror. And now I just try to find the most Japanese of names possible. And then
And I actually have one tchotchke item to mention.
How about that? Okay, here we go. 459. This one's Japanese enough. It takes two tomorrow, two. Yuyu Aida and Ryo Ayahara are in their second month of living together. More than lovers, but less than married. They're still more or less content.
Uh-oh.
Page 459. It takes two tomorrow, two. And that is that with me. Outside of this last one right here, and then I officially call it a day. The Essential Anime Guide: 50 Iconic Films in softcover on page 460 definitely deserves to be mentioned. Patrick Macias and Samuel Satin give us a guide to every fan needs to the classic must-see anime series and films that transform both Japanese and Western pop culture. Organized by release date and with entries by experts in the anime fields. This guide provides a comprehensive behind-the-scenes look into the history and impact of these classic anime. Awesome reference guide.
Yeah, I'll say.
For anybody looking for some great movies and anime to check out. So the Essential Anime Guide: 50 Iconic Films in softcover on page 460.
Levereau, just indulge you for just a moment. Back of the book, page 41, back of the book. I never thought I'd see this.
Let's see.
Page 41, back of the book.
Okay, I'm getting there. All right. Okay, page 41. Oh my God.
Keep going. Keep going. There it is. Yes. We have a man thing lunchbox, ladies and gentlemen, with a thermos. It is in my order without question.
If Vince from 11 O'Clock Comics has not already ordered this, I would be beyond shocked because he is the biggest Man Thing fan any of us know, and he needs this in his life. So
Bronze Age Frank Brunner art, only 2,500 have been made.
Wow.
I hope you get one.
Yeah,
I hate when that happens and they start allocating that crap.
Yep.
I know. Oh my! And the thermos. The thermos is the best part.
That's going right on my shelf behind me in my office. Fantastic.
Wow, that's an excellent pick, Chris.
I should do that just so I should put one on my order just so you have a chance to get one.
Aw, thanks, honey.
Murd, any tchotchkes this month?
I have two.
Oh, I love Murd tchotchke.
Right. One of them is on page 35.
Okay, good. I don't have to scroll up that far. Here we are. 38, 37, 36, 35. Here we are.
Right, so how long has Funko Pop been making plushies?
They got Grimace.
Yeah, a little bit, not terribly long, but they've had some out.
Yeah, Yep, and it was indeed the McDonald Land friends down there at the bottom that I was going to mention. We got Ronald McDonald, Grimace the Hamburglar, and Birdie the Early Bird.
Wait, who's Birdie? I don't even know who that character is.
Early Bird.
She was just as Shane said. She was introduced in the early '80s to help advertise McDonald's.
God, I forgot about her. Holy mackerel!
I recognize her from my youth, so that was around when it happened.
Yep.
I used to have the Mego like Grimace and Hamburglar dolls that were out in the 80s as well.
All right, let's pause for a minute. One of the all-time questions of the universe.
Yes.
What is Grimace?
Well, you see,
purple.
Yeah.
Is he a milkshake? Is he a milkshake?
He used to covet milkshakes. Well, McDonald's beverages in general. He used to have 4 arms, and he was known as the Evil Grimace.
Okay.
Yes.
So he was the
knew
villain of the piece. Okay.
I never knew him as the 4-armed evil Grimace until just recently. I always knew him as the lovable 2-armed, drinking a lot of stuff Grimace.
Yeah, okay.
I reformed fairly quickly.
Yeah.
I always like to describe Grimace the same way that the Simpsons describe, what a Muppet is. Well, he's not quite a mop and he's not quite a puppet, but
anyway, I have no idea.
Exactly.
What's your other one, Murd?
Didn't he also do something akin to like Snuffleupagus, where nobody believed him he was around either?
Yeah, at one point that was a deal, I think.
No,
I could be wrong, but
no, Grimace was always as real
front and center
as any of his other psychedelic surroundings.
I'm still disappointed though that I missed out on getting that Grimace's birthday shake by like 2 days.
Yeah.
What was the Grimace's birthday shake?
It was literally a shake, but it was purple.
Okay. Was it grape flavored or was it just like vanilla with food coloring?
I think it was just vanilla with food coloring.
Yeah, I would say vanilla with food coloring.
All you need to know is it's McDonald's shake. You can't actually get it through the straw anyway.
Exactly.
But you have to lobby Mayor McCheese in and complain.
Let's not have Brian Deemer talk about McDonald's shakes because that's a whole other situation.
Murd, what's your other choice?
Last word from me is on page 87.
Okay, 87. Here we go. Hopefully I won't find other things that look good to me along the way.
He's past a Joan Jett action figure. Wow.
Did somebody say G.I. Joe? Hey, Shane.
Yeah, you know what? I prefer. I have one of those from Super 7, and they're extremely expensive. And
they're very expensive. I saw my LCS. These are from the cartoon.
Yeah, and they look
pricey,
great,
man.
but I don't like how they move and feel. The arms just don't turn the way I want them to. So I actually had a lot of these on order. I canceled all my orders.
Wow.
I'll just stick with my Hasbro ones. The classified series.
That's M58, by the way, if you were looking to look into those G.I. Joe figures. All right, 80. Here we go. You said 80 what again?
87.
87. We're so close. Here we are, and 87 it is.
Yep, from USAopoly, they've got a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation edition of Monopoly.
Oh my God! There are 800 versions of Monopoly. This is one that I'm okay existing. That's
It's going to be the best damn version of Monopoly since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny effing Kaye.
One of the great meltdowns in film history.
Yeah.
Outstanding. And you know what? I call that a bolt shot with everyone still here.
Yes.
Huzzah.
Job well done, gentlemen.
Virtual high fives all around.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm fading. My eyelid's starting to close on me on my right side.
Well, that's fine though, because don't fall asleep quite yet, because you get to actually play yourself at the end. About that. But real quick before anything, once again, a big thank you to everybody at patreon.com/comicgeekspeak for helping this show happen. We really do appreciate it. And for as little as $1 a month, you keep the virtual lights on here so that we can continue doing what we love each and every month. So thank you very much there. And a reminder, if you have not checked out the most recent Crisis tapes, that is 3.5 hours of goodness on the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths, and they got halfway through, which means there's still going to be one more episode to finish it all out once we're all said and done, and I cannot wait for that, sir. Job well done, Murd. Job well done.
Thank you very much. Peter and I will be getting on that sometime in the near future.
Excellent. Cannot wait for it. Absolutely, and can't wait to comic talk with you guys in the not too distant future as well.
Yeah, I've got quite a few things to talk about.
We all do. Yep.
All right.
So when I'm not here, you take the glitchy part of my videos and you make a Max Headroom-ish kind of me doing the same thing. Okay.
Oh yeah, I actually get ChatGPT to just create you, and you know, to leave a voicemail. The number is okay.
Yeah.
And anywho, here we go.
Visit us at comicgeekspeak.com to send us an email. The address is comicgeekspeak@gmail.com. To leave a voicemail, the number is 267-702-6642. Stop by thecomicforums.vanillacommunity.com. Look us up on YouTube at youtube.com/comicgeekspeak. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, send in Muddle the Murds, even though we didn't hear about them today. I'm sure they're still out there and we still need them. And as always, we are uniting the world's mightiest heroes, one listener at a time.
This thing is acting up, so I am just going to add it in post. But yeah, that is that.
Use your imagination.
All right, excellent.